Hello folks, might as well unmute the mic now while we're sitting here. It is currently 9 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I am your host, Abigail Beck, and welcome to the Rogue Room. How's it going? Hello Azera. Hello Del. How you going? Why are you up at 2 AM? If you don't mind my inquiry. If you don't mind. I mean, I used to have an unusual sleeping schedule, and last night I was really irresponsible, and I stayed up until 2 AM getting highlights from the stream. And by the time I was done, I was sitting there I was like this in my chair. I was just like sitting there slumped over like this. Like listening as the highlight was playing, so I could sort of get a feel for like, did I get the whole section? I'm like passing out in my chair. And what did I do? I went to bed. I took my makeup off ages ago. Ages before this point, I took my makeup off basically as soon as I finished stream. And I forgot to brush my teeth, which is really irresponsible of me. I shouldn't do that. I should brush my teeth every day. I cannot afford dental problems. Hi. Protocol. How you doing? Can you ask a question? You certainly can. I'm an open book, sure. On the subject, there are certain questions I'm about to answer with a command that I am making in my chatbot right now. It just occurred to me to do this. So, how come I'm not? That's a good question. Why am I not in the LGBTQ plus category at the moment? I should be. No, I am. LGBTQIA+, plus AMA, news, mental health, and educational. I've just updated it, see if that fixed it. Maybe maybe it just didn't update for whatever reason. Hey Ty, how you doing? Yeah, I think sometimes, honestly, I think the interface on Twitch just bugs out and doesn't show properly. So I've noticed recently I've gone to a few streams and I'll be sitting there watching the stream for a solid 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind following this person, and there's no follow or subscribe button or anything. Like, the UI is just buggy on Twitch. You doing good? I'm glad to hear it. Here's an interesting one. Okay, Fox. We'll start us off with a poll. I mean, we're on Twitch, but there you go. I want to see what you guys think. First answer, we got Twitch. I'm not 100% certain which one I prefer, honestly. Is that why no one will sub to you? Because the UI hasn't loaded. So far, Twitch is winning, but YouTube is catching up. Hey, Rosa, how you doing? Always prefer interaction with the creator. Oh, yes, that's what you said before, wasn't it, Azera? You always start streaming at this time and it's more enjoyable to participate and chat. Well, I mean, the idea is at some point, I will throw this out there, is like, I'm enjoying the 9 PM, my time, streaming time, because I can do it every day. It is a bit hectic sometimes when the kids are here, but I can still do it consistently every day. The goal is maybe at some point in the not too distant future to go back to streaming at earlier times on certain days of the week. But I've had such good streams at this time that I'm sort of staying consistent. Like, if I do the same time every day, I feel like I can stay consistent with viewership. Yeah, and interaction with the creator, especially as a streamer, is important, I think. Like, you can go back and you can watch highlights on my YouTube channel if you miss anything that's particularly interesting to talk about, but I think the engagement is so crucial to the streaming idea. Of course, you know, once you get to certain levels of streamers, huge streamers, that engagement goes out the window, but kind of had similar stuff with morning streams? Like, you enjoyed it more because it was more consistency, or even though you watch both in general? If you had to pick one, you choose Twitch purely for interaction purposes. Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, there is, of course, the option to stream on YouTube, or Facebook if you feel it, but that's not an option in the poll. It looks like Twitch is going to win. 7 votes to 2. Oh, 7 votes to 3. There you go. 7 votes to 3. There we have it. Twitch wins. by a pretty significant landslide. Can be miserable to get up and stream, but like the chat is active, which is nice. I can understand that. I prefer streaming at the tail end of my day, honestly. Like, although, like there is something to be said about, you know, streaming when you've got more energy before doing anything for the rest of the day. But I think just the fact that I've generally built the habit of when I start my streams from the very beginning, my streams have always been tail end of the day. I've done everything else. After I'm done, I pack everything up. Ideally, take my makeup off and brush my teeth and go to bed. But I don't think I've ever really tried an earlier in the day kind of stream. Like the earliest has always been maybe like 4 p.m. my time. And after that, you know, I have dinner and I wind down a bit and I don't really do much. I guess that's kind of what annoys me about streaming either midway through the day or... I mean, I've never tried a morning stream. Hey Lulu, how you doing? I've never tried the idea of starting really early. But I have considered it, given that my first thing that I do in the morning, without fail, is get up and work out. Get up, drink my black coffee, always just a teaspoon of black coffee. No milk, no sugar, nothing, just black coffee as my pre-workout. And I get to the gym, do my workout, that's done. You get that out of the way. It's the best way to, honestly, personally, my input on fitness is if you're gonna do the fitnessing, first thing in the morning. Now, I've considered, on the side, the reason I bring that up is because I have in the past strongly considered doing a fitness stream. Magic, by the way, fuckhead, also type ! ring in chat if you would like to support Outer Peace Gear, the legends who made and shipped me this ring after like what feels like 4 months of back and forth communication. They were very polite because I fucked up the address on the shipping in the first place, and we were back and forthing all this time. It's like, I don't know where the ring is. Do they make custom rings? You'd have to ask them. Obviously I have reached out to them and sorted this out. But after a while, we were just like, oh, we figured out what the problem was. The address wasn't in there correctly, so the ring has gone missing, and eventually they were just like, we'll send you a new one. We'll just send you a new one, free of charge. I was like, what fucking legends? So, if you guys are interested in some Pride-themed rings, they've got the Trans Pride, they've got stuff like Ace Pride, Bisexual, I think they've got a general Queer Pride rainbow flag ring. It's awesome. They've got so much good stuff. So, I highly recommend them if you're interested in a little bit of jewelry. There you go. A forever broken soul. Hey, fancy man. And by the way, how are you doing, Jim Steak? You don't brush your teeth, you just drink PBR. Hydration time. I've actually got water here. Timoni's like, oh, the toddler is awake again. Yeah, that's always fun. Oh, I don't envy you. I don't miss those days. Okay, let me go through the rings that they actually have on Outer Peace Gear. If you guys are curious, this is where I got mine from. So this is the one I bought, obviously. Trans Pride Stainless Steel, Asexual Pride, Bisexual Pride, Genderqueer, Aromantic Pride, Polyamory Pride, Inclusion Philly Pride Ring. There we go. Oh, they've got the Quasar. Look at this shit. Dude. I'm not sponsored. I just genuinely think you guys should, if you guys are interested in this kind of ring, hit up this shop. They're fucking good. They were so helpful. Gender fluid, another bisexual pride, rainbow pride. Ooh, black stainless steel, trans pride boxer briefs. Oh, this is awesome. Look at that. That looks sick. That looks sick, dude. Love it. Oh yeah, I'd totally do that. Anywho, that's enough. Trans undies. I'm doing a command for chat that might answer some questions. Didn't somebody ask me a question and I didn't get to answer it? Oh, it was the tag. Yeah, never mind. That was alright. Do they have blue rings? I don't know. I'm sure you could find a custom ring maker. Like these rings are really cheap. This is stainless steel with epoxy resin filling in the different colors. teeth brushing can be a sensory ick. I suppose, yeah, I mean, to each their own, I suppose. It doesn't affect me in that way, but I've developed a habit of brushing my teeth. If you mean autistically. The trans one it's awesome. I love it. It's so cool. I love the color scheme in general. Like, I've been saying for ages, I'm gonna redo my color scheme in the trans pride colors in some way, shape, or form, because it's just a cute color scheme. Just cozy, dude. The toddler is always happy in the morning, so that's good. That's good. Gotta feed him within the first 10 minutes, yeah, of course. Yes, there are people who actually brush their teeth willingly. I know, it's shocking. But personally, I don't like the idea of developing a blood infection from not brushing my teeth. It's fucking terrifying. That is Vess. Oh, by the way, I've moved this light over here. It's actually over there behind the mirror now. I moved it for reasons. Didn't really specify why. And also, one of my skateboards is down there now. For the heck of it. Let me see here. I just want to show you this. We go to this one, we go like... Look at that. That kind of vibes. What do you think? Vess is my tarantula, and I actually got some photos of her today. Let me see if I can... Hang on a second. Yeah, here we go. Alright, what I'm going to do, really quickly, is I'm going to send myself to my Google Drive a whole bunch of spider pictures, alright? And then we'll go through them, and I'll show you Vess. Yeah, I've had Vess for ages. Skateboarding stream, I've strongly considered it. Don't know how I'd set it up, is the problem. The girl's name is a rhyme. A rhyme with what? Okay. There we go. That's uploading now. Guess who found their reception venue? I'm going to say you did, Kez. I'm going to say you did, Kez. Yes, we are going to show Spooder pics. We are going to show Spider. Oh, by the way, what's her name? Ashley Roboto is the Pog champ today. That's pretty fucking cool. Do a 900. I could not do a 900. You unintentionally had trans color story on stream. What do you mean? What happened? How so? Explain. Recently adopted a ball python. I've considered getting a snake.
Appreciates your recommendation.
Thank you so kindly for the host. What are they gonna do? Google Drive. We're gonna go to Google Drive. Alright. Here we go. Let's have a look at Vess. Here's pretty baby. Here's pretty baby. There she is. Can I like scroll to the next one? No, hang on. Where's another photo from earlier today? Here's a good one. She's been out and about crawling and all that. I'm just swapping because like when I close the window, I'm not sure if you can see any of my personal details here, so I don't want to accidentally reveal anything. There's a good one. Look at that. Gorgeous tarantula. I don't think there is anything on here, actually. There's old photos of me, but that's about it. That one, this particular scene here, this particular photo here reminds me of the spider, the giant spider creature thing in Gears of War. What's it called? I can't recall. Not a Brumark, like... It was, let me think. I haven't checked out Sophie yet. I have not. I'll have to give her a look. I have talked briefly about her passing, her unfortunate passing. Screw the 900, some 11-year-old pulled off a 1080. Show him kids are useless and do a 2160. I can't put the tarantula in my hand because hasn't been raised to be handled. So... Can we see Smudge? I have no idea where he is. He's somewhere in the house. He's somewhere in the house. I have no idea where he is. Let me see. There's got to be a... I want to look up, like... Gears of War. Spider. What's it called? A corpser. Yeah. Did you guys ever play Gears of War? I was reminded, like, that particular shot of these guys. Did you ever play Gears of War? Gears of War was the shit. I would love to revisit that series. But I'm not too keen on, like, the newer stuff, to be honest. I played up to the third one and I was just like, okay, I'm done. I give up. Redeemed a bit of philosophy. What era of philosophy would you like me to read from? I had some topics that I did want to cover today as well, by the way. So let's do that. But I do distinctly remember having a ton of fun playing the Horde mode. Horde in Gears of War was fucking sick. My personal favorite. Okay. Are we going to do Nietzsche again? That was good. How about one I actually know a little bit about, which is very controversial? How about we do a controversial one that's relevant to today's politics? How about we talk a little bit of Karl Marx? I don't think I've actually... I haven't even read the chapter about Karl Marx. I've read about him. I haven't read his work, but I've read about him. I haven't read his theory. Dude, my hair is all flat and looks gross today. Ugh, yuck. Anyway, I wish I had the capacity to... I don't know, do my hair like some of the other girls on Twitch do. I swear they do some fucking magic. And their hair looks beautiful. And mine looks like fucking dog shit. Anywho. The modern world. It'd be the modern world. Where is it? Bertrand Russell. Ludwig Wittgenstein. Hello, Tofu and Nooch. How you doing? Martin Heidegger. Is he in here? He might not even be in here. He should be in here. Oh no, hang on. He'd be in the Age of Revolution, sorry. I don't think... Oh, here we go. The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. Karl Marx. Here we go. Page 126. So let's learn a little bit about Marx, shall we? How many pages is this, first and foremost? Firstly and foremostly. 2. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of Marx. You guys keen? Marx what? Marx of the Karl family of Marxes. Hair is hard to style and it makes you sad. I've considered going to a hairdresser, honestly. Let them do it. Growing your hair out to don't know, but you just look like Brown Hagrid at the moment. Mine does like flare out a little bit. If I've just washed it and I brush it. It was almost a 1-2 punchline. Snakes are stupid. They will lie there and cook themselves. That's what they're supposed to do. Yes, I'm sure I want to go down this road, by the way. Political philosophy. Communism is the approach. Before, I love this particular fellow's name. Niccolo Machiavelli, circa 1513, discusses class struggles in ancient Roman Renaissance Italy in Discourses on Livy. In 1789, the French Revolution provides the template for 19th century philosophical arguments about revolution. In the 1800s, Georg Hegel develops a theory of historical change throughout intellectual conflict. After Marx. So Marx lived from 1818 to 1883, for anyone who is curious. Friedrich Engels, after the passing of Marx, tries to develop Marx's theories into a fully fledged philosophy of historical materialism. In the 1930s, Marxism becomes the official philosophy of the Soviet Union and many other communist countries. Had your haircut yesterday and your hairdresser is lovely. She knows to cut it short to keep you from having a sensory nightmare. Well, that's good. You want it long? Well, get growing it. Get growing it. Get on it. It's philosophy time.
Welcome back,
hey,
supporter of the cause. Hey Abby, hey chat.
Head over to the sub lounge for us. Why is the font on the subs? Thank you so kindly for 3 months, dude. Why is the font on the sub alert not correct? I've changed it. It's gotta be the right font. You're ruining my aesthetic here, Streamlabs. The fact that you are doing this to me is rather irksome. Do you want it Leong? Keeps dragging you to the hair destroyer. Fair. Did I pronounce it correctly, by the way? That was my stab in the dark at it. Not that. I'm trying to find my widgets here. Hang on. Alert box. Subscriptions. Resub message settings. It's not working. All of the alert variations have been set for all the different fonts in my subscription layout are set to the correct font, and it's not working for some reason. I don't know. That's irksome. Looks like you owe me $3. You do. You could subscribe. Go read about Marx. We have been meaning to read a little bit of philosophy. Let's get into it. Okay, no more distractions. Can the complex history of the human species be reduced to a single formula? One of the greatest thinkers of the 19th century, Karl Marx, believed that it could. He opened the first chapter of his most famous work, the Communist Manifesto, with the claim that all historical change comes about as the result of an ongoing conflict between the dominant upper and the subordinate lower social classes, and that the roots of this conflict lie in economics. For those of you who actually want to know what Marxism is, this is important because it's a relevant political topic right now. Keep in mind, I have actually studied this. So, this is one of the philosophers I know about. Excuse me. I have the COVID. Marx believed that he had gained a uniquely important insight into the nature of society through the ages. Earlier approaches to history had emphasized the role of individual heroes and leaders, or stressed the role played by ideas, I should say. But Marx focused on a long succession of group conflicts, including those between ancient masters and slaves, medieval lords and serfs, and modern employers and their employees. He claimed that caused revolutionary damage. The commands list has been updated, by the way. The Communist Manifesto. Marx wrote the manifesto with German philosopher Friedrich Engels, whom he had met when they were both studying academic philosophy in Germany during the late 1830s. Engels offered financial support, ideas, and superior writing skills, but Marx was acknowledged as the real genius behind their combined publications. In their private manuscripts from the early and mid-1840s, Marx and Engels emphasized that while previous philosophers had only sought to interpret the world, the whole point of their activities was to change it. During the 1850s and 60s, I'm thinking I might need glasses. It's a fucking pain in the ass. During the 1850s and 60s, Marx refined his ideas in many short documents, including the Communist Manifesto, a pamphlet of about 40 pages. The manifesto seeks to explain the values and political plans of communism, a new belief system put forward by a small and relatively new group of radical German socialists. The manifesto claims that society had simplified into two classes in direct conflict: the bourgeoisie, the capital-owning class, and the proletariat, the working class. The term bourgeoisie is derived from a French word bourgeois, or bourgeois. It looks like it says burger, but it's got an H in it. A property-owning tradesman who had risen above the general populace to own and run his own business. Marx describes how the discovery and colonization of America, the opening of the Indian and Chinese markets, and the increase in commodities that could be exchanged had, by the 19th century, led to the rapid development of commerce and industry. Craftsmen no longer produced enough goods for the growing needs of new markets, and so the manufacturing system had taken their place. As the manifesto relates, the markets kept growing, demand ever rising. Burgers. Burgeoning. Oh, what have I missed? Okay. Actually, yes. If only communism hadn't gone disastrous. That's not, burgersy. It's not communism's fault that a communist regime had failed. Think of how many people are constantly sucking the dick of capitalism, and capitalism is a failed system, by its very definition. We just haven't seen the downfall of it yet. Capitalism is a failed system. What is this? It's someone reading a little bit of philosophy because somebody redeemed it as a channel reward. We're not going to do the whole chapter this time, though. We'll do the next segment of it, and then we'll call it there. Or we could do this little diagram. Why is capitalism acephobic? Yes, politics and justice. Well, it's not really politics, it's philosophy. Political philosophy. So people align into groups with others who share their social and economic interests, or against those in conflict with their social and economic interests. The socio-economic status of each group is defined by its relationship to property and the means of production. The proletariat owns little property or business. The bourgeois or ruling class owns most of a country's property and businesses. When the means of production changes, such as from agricultural to industrial, there are revolutions and wars. The ruling class is displaced and a new one is created. History is a record of these class struggles and displacements. I don't have my political compass on hand. I think last time I did the what's it called? The political compass test. I think I ended up left libertarian. Buy me a drink first. Values of the bourgeoisie. Marx claims that the bourgeoisie who controlled all this trade had left no link between people other than naked self-interest than callous cash payment. People were once valued for who they were, but the bourgeoisie has resolved personal worth into exchange value. Moral, religious, and even sentimental values had been cast aside, as everyone from scientists and lawyers to priests and poets had been transformed into nothing but a paid labourer. In place of religious and political illusions, Marx writes, the bourgeoisie had substituted naked, shameless, direct, brutal exploitation. Charters that once protected people's freedom had been cast aside for one unconscionable freedom, free trade. The only solution, according to Marx, was for all instruments of economic production, such as land, raw materials, tools, and factories, to become common property so that every member of society could work according to their capacities and consume according to their needs. This was the only way to prevent the rich from living at the expense of the poor. There you go. So that's a bit of Marx, not the whole thing. Speaking of political compass, do I allow everyone in the chat if they behave? That's the problem. Getting people to behave. Yeah, this is the test that I did. But mine was, yeah, very left lib. What's it called? There was a specific phrase for it. Kez is our bouncer. Confused me that I ended up as a libertarian, according to that quiz. I don't know how true that is. I may have answered some questions from the position of being not as informed as I could be on those particular topics. But why do you say that as error? Because I'm not 100% on what libertarianism even really is. I have certain values that I hold true to myself. You're hurt today. Good morning, Rayoin. How are you doing? Aside from being hurt, apparently. How'd you hurt yourself? Just for the process. What do you mean just for the process? It'd be interesting if she was willing. To do the political compass test? I did that recently. I did that relatively recently. Hypothetical situation, person with political beliefs you dislike but behaves. Do we allow them in? Yeah, occasionally. If they're behaved. You know, if people come in here being explicitly contrarian and reactionary, then I get irked and I'm just like, I'm not going to put up with your bullshit, you know? I don't want to listen to people trying to... It's usually people who are contrarian do so as an attack on my identity, which is just asinine. And I don't appreciate that, so I don't bother with it. They do shit, it usually just peels off by itself. Snakes sound so fucking gross, but they're so fucking cool. Hello, Void Entity, how you doing? Oh, anywho, yeah, I mean... With regards to the politics in just chatting thing, I've noticed that barely anyone actually streams in the politics category. And I'm not heavily focused on the politics, it's just a factor of my overall show. What do you think of the blue over here? The blue... Am I schizophrenic now? I have autism spectrum disorder.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Sin PhD, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with his friend. Snakes are gross, but they're so cute when they yawn. True. The dress today is very nice. Thank you. I'm quite fond of this one. Hang on a second. I am now obligated to do this. There we go. We can now look at yawning snakes. This is now the content of the stream. Look at this one. Do snakes do nose boops like cats do? I don't know, to be honest. A mouth-gaping viper. Look at that menace, dude. Look at that. He looks angy. No talk me, I'm angy. I mean, I've got a friend, Crit, who has snakes. She's got snakes. I think she was inspired by her boyfriend who's got snakes. And then now she's got her own. So I'm going to have to harass her at some point. It's like, hey, can we hang out so I can see your snakes? Been creating a list of names you really like because you're struggling to settle on one, but you'll also dead name. On the subject, I'm going to put a stream marker there and dive straight into the first actual topic of today. Thank you, Void Entity, because I want to talk about dead names. I have been, this particular topic has come up in my personal life recently as a bit of a thing, so I would like to get my thoughts on dead names out there into the world for a video, for video's sake, because for the hell of it. Although there is another topic I'd like to speak on, which may be an even better video subject, so... Did I used to be on Vaughn TV? No, I did not. I've never been on any TV. Don't harass her or she'll send her snakes after you. She can try. I can handle a few little snakes. What is a dead name? Well, typically speaking, when we use the term dead name, a dead name is the name assigned to a person at birth that they opted to change for their own reasons. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't know how true this is, but I have a friend who's changed her name a few times. Hello, Turquoise. How you doing? I have a friend who's changed her name a few times. As far as I know, she's not trans or NB. Just changed her name a few times. And I would argue that a dead name is not just for trans people, but if somebody opts to change their name and you continue to refer to them by that old name, you are dead naming them. Some of you do know my dead name. That's fine. I don't care that much, but I don't want you to refer to me as it. Yeah, if someone changed their name twice, they would have two dead names. In this particular instance, of course, you know, speaking with regards to trans people and NB people and anyone, really, who decides to change their name, they then have that dead name, and if you continue to disregard the name they've chosen for themselves and call them by that other name, that is what's called dead naming them. Alright, Azera, have a good one. Thank you so kindly for being here. No referring to me as Magic Sparkle Dragonface. No. It's not allowed. But yeah, it's like, I mean, if someone who is in chat who is trans, who is perhaps more experienced with general trans ideology, I don't know, maybe someone can inform me on this so that I'm not being stupid, but as far as I know, it doesn't need to be a trans person. As if you change your name, it's still a dead name if you're a cis person. If you were Brian and changed your name to John and everyone kept calling you Brian, you'd be rightfully pissed off, right? You'd be rightfully annoyed at the subject. Oh, well, I use the term trans ideology. I'm not really... Maybe that's a bad thing, actually, because I feel like the term trans ideology is used negatively against the trans community, actually, on that subject, so maybe I should drop that from my lexicon. Your friends struggle to remember to not dead name you. Yeah, it's a pain. Fox, thank you for the hydration. You're off to get pizza. Yeah, trans is not an ideology. Turf rhetoric. That's the problem with, like, trying to consume media around turfs and stuff so you can better tear down their attacks on us as you pick up the vocabulary. But yeah, it is turf rhetoric. It's just rude. Like, if you got married, people refer to you by your old name as you're taking your husband's name. Exactly. I mentioned that before. I've mentioned that in the past. If Susie Jackson marries Danny Johnson, she becomes Susie Johnson, and you keep calling her Susie Jackson, she's going to see that as disrespect. She's going to see that as, you know, you having no respect for her choice to change her name to her partner's name. And in the same regard, I changed my name to Abigail, and there are still people in my life who, I guess, struggle to remember sometimes. My mother and my ex the other day. Hang on, I'll come back to that. Sin, because I want to get this thought out. Yeah, my mother has had it a couple of times. My mother actually misgendered me today on the phone. She was talking to me, and my auntie was there at her place, and she mentioned something, and she goes, "Oh, he such and such this." And I was like, dude, can you at least try? Can you at least put in a little bit of effort? And then the other day, there was a situation where my ex actually, in anger, she was frustrated at the children, I mentioned this, and she called me by my dead name. And I called her out on it in an instant. I was like, you do not call me that. That's not a thing you call me. And she immediately turned around and said, no, I didn't. You know, I know what I heard. And she dead named me. And I turned around and I confront her on it. She goes, no, I didn't. She's backing off, pretending like she's not in the wrong. She knows she did it wrong. Yeah, I reckon she's doing it on purpose. She's always been an abuser. What's my thoughts on being spiritual with your parents? In other words, how can we convince them there exists some entity E for every human H that's such E. I don't, honestly, I have no idea what any of that means. I am one of the least spiritual people you'll ever meet. I believe in this world, this one alone. There's a lot of philosophy that I enjoy that appeals to the idea of spirituality and the idea of things that exist beyond the physical world. Hi Astra, how you doing? Your mum and your sibling get your sibling wrong altogether, but when we talk to other people it never happens. Thankfully your sibling is aware you're a mess and you're trying. At least you're trying. And as for why we choose new names, like, I mean, me personally, I chose the name Abigail because at first I was looking for names that sounded or were similar in some way to my dead name. I thought that might be easier for people if I chose a name. Like, again, I've mentioned before in the past, I thought it might be easier if I just changed one letter in my name. And then if they call me that, it's not going to matter because it's the same name. Then you can't mispronounce my old name if I change the letter I was going to change to make it more effeminate. But I reached a point. Yeah, I chose Abby to get a head start on Philosophy Tube. Oh, I feel flattered almost. It's so strange. A YouTuber I look up to has the same name as me now. God, she's pretty, by the way. Holy fuck. I mean, she's... what was I going to say? She's... And some people, like, again, I've mentioned... I'll use myself as the reference here. It's like, without this situation that I don't want to give an identity to, I've always had rather effeminate features. That's nice at the very least. Wasn't surprised you went for Abigail at all. Seemed very attached to Abigail from Stardew. True. And the amethysts thing, that's like not even... It's like not even... I don't even know what the fuck... I get the suspicion that Concerned Ape has been spying on me psychologically before I came out. Would a person with a gender-neutral name not need to change their name? Well, that's the thing. My dead name was gender-neutral. Like, if Alex is now a girl, does she need to change her name? Like, if she wants to. If she chooses to. If Alexander decides to become Alexandra, or if it's just Alex and they decide to stay Alex, that's up to them. But if, for example, Alexander decides, I'm going to become Natalie, that's up to them. That's their own prerogative. And I think the reason that trans folks tend to pick new names when they change their gender, and this is my personal experience with it, is the character that I had spent so many years playing, was attached to that name. So that name belongs to a role that I played for so many years. And there's now a negative attachment to it that I don't want to associate myself with anymore. I want to distance myself from that. It's like if I played a character on TV for so many years and everyone in, let's just say, the guy who plays Toadfish Rebecca on Neighbours. I don't even know what that actor's name is. But, you know, for example, Toadfish Rebecca, Jared Vincenzo Rebecca, is played by Ryan Maloney. Did you guys know that the guy who plays Toadie on Neighbours, an Australian sitcom that's been going on for fucking 50 million years or whatever it is, did you know that he's played by a guy called Ryan Maloney? Generally speaking, you know, he's been in that role since 1995. People know him as the Toadie guy. Australians do anyway, and some people in the UK, I guess. And that's kind of how it feels for me. Excuse me. That's kind of how it feels for me as someone who played the role that I played before, the character that I played before. I didn't want to have that identity attached to me anymore, so I chose a different name. Is imagining trans names like as one comes up with a fantasy drag. Like as one comes up with a fantasy drag name problematic. I'll need you to extrapolate on what you mean there. I mean, I'm confused. I'm not terribly informed with regards to drag, honestly. Yeah, nobody needs to. It's all about choice. Even someone with a neutral name could want a different name. Exactly like I did. Hello, Mr. Moo Woo. How you doing? If you pose the question, if you transitioned, what would you call yourself? I don't see that as a problem. I generally speaking, I mean, that would depend on the person, I guess. Honestly. Toadie is still alive. I swear is yeah, the show is made on jumping the shark, honestly. Wait a minute. Hold the fuck up. Hold on a second. Hold on a sec. Just wait. Stop. Put a pause. Let me put a stream marker in the thing for a second to put a pause in, because I need to illustrate something. We've got the Toadie, the Toadie Wikipedia page up, because he's got his own Wikipedia page. There was a spin-off in March 2014 of Neighbours called Neighbours vs. Zombies. In March 2014, a new zombie webisode series was announced. Digital producer Rick Forster pitched the idea of a zombie series featuring the past characters in 2013. Upon learning about Screen Australia's Skip Ahead program, which gives help with funding and resources, Forster contacted YouTube blogger Launa Moran, whatever, to join the project. Moran commented, "There's a huge fan base for the zombie genre. It's so fresh and amazing that Fremantle Media are willing to do this sort of thing. It's just a fan dream." Forster wanted Neighbours Zombies on Ramsay Street to be different from Neighbours and said the visuals would reflect the dark nature of the story. Scenes were shot in both interior and external locations. An abandoned hospital and Kennedy bedroom sets were specifically created for the series. Moran appears as Hope Gottlieb, a past character who had previously appeared in the show as a young child. The storyline sees Hope teaming up with Mason Turner to try and stop a zombie invasion. And many current cast members appear in the series, including Fletcher, Woodburn, Toadie, Matt Turner, and blah 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 blah, whoever else. Paul Robinson. Neighbours vs. Zombies. See if you can find it. Oh, that's fucking amazing. Oh, I bet you it's terrible, honestly. I'm not from South Africa, I'm from Australia. Oh, anyway. Oh, that's so funny. You want to change your name not because you feel it's necessary, but because you're not that person. It's not your name and it's not me. Exactly, that's how I feel. I do not feel attached to my old name, and whenever somebody calls me by that name, it feels specifically insulting. No, Australia. I'm in Australia. If people change the pronunciation of their name, same name, different pronunciation, and you mispronounce, I suppose that's technically dead naming as well, because it's not the same name, technically speaking. Sat there and really thought about gender and ended up with an identity crisis. You decided you do not like gender. I put up a video about a week or two ago, and Cyrus, Saiyyrus, told me, I stopped by her stream, and she told me she watched it.
Appreciates your recommendation.
Tattered Hearts. Well, thank you so kindly for the host, mate. I want to say welcome. Thank you so kindly for the host. And welcome in. As I was going to say, yeah, Cyrus told me she watched my video where I was discussing gender and how the idea of gender identity is silly and stupid and deeply filled with a whole bunch of just asinine social constructs. And how I said, you know, I think we should abolish gender altogether. And then she's just like, by the way, I'm non-binary. Just announced that she's non-binary and said that my video where I discussed that sort of broke her mind a little bit on it. There's a thought. Well, now I should say their name, sorry. Although I think she's she, they. The way you got your NB name is because you were called Astro when you were little by all your family. Can't even remember why, but your NB name is Astro, and everyone had an easy transition into calling you that instead of your dead name because they already called you. Well, that's good, I suppose. Hydrate, I need that. It's fucking boiling again, dude. Give me a sec. Let me turn the aircon on. Fuck, I'm sweating. 2 secs. Oh my god. Why do I want to put more lights in here? Fuck. Oh, goodness gracious me. They, them. My pronouns are she, her. Let's get that out. That's not really specifically relevant. You know your life won't be much different if you're of a different gender. Ideally not. Anyway, Dumblebings, hey, how you doing? I see you there. How you going? How do we feel about family that may have kept old photos of someone before transitioning? My mother still has photos of me up, but they make me uncomfortable, honestly. Is it a case-by-case basis, or is it flat out disrespectful? This is the thing that annoys me about what my mother says to me quite often, is she's got... well, I am practicing guitar lately, a little bit. So maybe someday soon we'll do a stream when I can reasonably play a bit more than a few different riffs. And my mother has this sentimental attachment to my old name, sentimental attachment to old photos of me, memories, etc. I get it. But I do personally feel a little bit uncomfortable with seeing photos of myself at her house pre-transition. Maybe I just need to create more memories so she can replace those photos or something. I don't know. Need to take more photos out in public places at events and things. But it depends, I guess, case-by-case basis. If someone is uncomfortable with their photos being on display at someone's house, if someone is uncomfortable with this or that or the other, subjective, yeah. Which is very difficult. Personally, like as you may have imagined, I've mentioned numerous times that my mental health is affected by people dead naming me. Which is why I try to avoid letting it out there into the world, which is why I got rid of the, my sort of coming out video, I guess. Hello, Zip, how you doing? Yeah, I got rid of my old, coming out video, because the thumbnail referenced me by my dead username, I suppose you could say. And, I think, yeah, especially when you have situations. Pauses music. By cube, do we mean... Where is it? Where's the cube? Oh, it's over here. The cube. What was I saying? Let me get my head around things. Yeah, when you have people like my ex weaponizing my dead name against me, that has a negative emotional effect. Because, like I said, I've detached from that identity and I don't want to explore that side of myself anymore. I want to move to a new identity, I suppose. Or not a new identity, rather the one that I've repressed for a long time. And I want to take that veil off, I want to take that roll off and put it on the costume shelf and push it away into the back of the wardrobe and never touch it again. So, to that end, when someone does dead name me, when someone does misgender me and all those kinds of things, it's like they're reaching into that closet where I've put that old identity far away and they're grabbing it and they're yanking it out again and they're saying, hey, look at this thing that you're uncomfortable with. Look at this thing that you don't like to see anymore. And it's like, can you please put that back where you got it? Fable's been really growing on you as a name. Yeah, that's a good one. I did see your message before. I missed the rest of it, but Fable's a nice name. And of course, when you have situations like the ex, where she literally, in anger, in rage, in fury, screams my dead name at me, and to make matters worse, I mean, this isn't particularly relevant to the whole thing, but she screams my dead name at me outside of my house, and I think it was in response to me wanting the kids to call me mum instead of... Honestly, I'm now uncomfortable with the term dad and daddy and all that kind of stuff. I don't want that anymore. That's a part of that attachment. That goes in the closet over there. That's not the closet. That's my bedroom door. But just imagine there's a closet there that I want to shove all that shit into. Ideally, I'd throw it in the bin. Ideally, I'd throw the whole thing in the bin. And to me, throwing all of my old identity into the bin would mean getting rid of it for fucking good. No one ever uses it anymore, would be the goal there. But the thing that really irked me in particular about the ex using my dead name to me and going off at me about, like, she's got this real thing about the mum thing. She really doesn't want me to take that nickname. With my kids specifically, is what I mean, with my kids specifically. She's particularly offended and upset by that. And the thing that gets me is, like, I've been accepting of your transition. She screams it out. Screams it out at the front of my house. So the whole street has just heard about my transition. You know, and I mean, if any of my neighbors have seen me getting around in my dresses, whatever, I don't care particularly, but it's like, it's a really, really not your business thing to just scream that out there so that all the neighbors can have their own speculations on me. Like, thanks for that. You know? Really not appreciating that kind of thing. Do worry that you should try and get past your previous yourself in a non-self-hateful... Well, yes, absolutely. I am confronting a lot of that. Trust me, there is a project I'm working on. There's a video I'm working on that is going to confront all of that past self. But I'm putting it off for a few months. And I have actually, like, deeply, introspectively looked at my past self through this particular piece. It just requires a lot more effort before it's done. It's on the slate. I did watch Healthy Gamer's interview with Contra. That was lovely. That was a very fun conversation. Anyway. So whenever you dead name somebody, right? If you happen to know someone who has transitioned and you dead name them, falling asleep, food coma kicking in, enjoy the rest of the stream, radio metal, have a good one. You do these things in your own time. You can't rush them, exactly. And whenever someone calls you by your dead name, it shows that they, in some way... I mean, you can have... Here's the thing, is like you can be forgetful of someone's dead name, of someone's... I don't know what it's called when they change their name. Like, is it your true name? Is it your... I don't know, just your current name, whatever you've changed it to. There's two factors. If someone is calling you by the dead name, it's either showing disrespect for your identity or hopefully it's an accident. And if it's an accident, you can forgive, I imagine. But the point that I am particularly irked by with family members getting it wrong is that it feels like they've known my name and pronouns for a while now and have just not bothered to pick up the habit yet. And like I've mentioned on numerous occasions before, habits take 3 weeks to form. It doesn't befit to completely just refuse to catch up by this point. 3 weeks to form a habit. It depends on what the habit is, I suppose. But with regards to this, I feel like it shouldn't take that much effort. I feel like it should not be that much of a thing. My sister's been really good with it. She's been staying on top of it. Anytime someone calls me he, she goes she. Anytime someone dead names me, she goes Abigail. Abby. So I need to keep my sister around. The fidget cube. And it is our, what's it called? Our Lord and Savior, that's what this is. Don't normally fuck it with Abigail's pronoun or name as you knew me as is. That's the good thing, I suppose. Fostering a new identity in the online spaces. With any luck, fingers crossed, more of a skew towards a different identity online. Dramatically changing the trajectory of where I've been going should, fingers crossed, with any luck, mean that if my popularity trends upwards, I always intend to be an outwardly trans person. I want people to know that. I want to be known as a representative, as someone that other trans folks can look up to, ideally. I'm hoping, as time goes on, I won't need to discuss it as much. That trans girl. As far as I know, 3 weeks. Anywho, things take you a lot longer, ADHD, brain fog, but you can tell if someone is genuinely trying, quickly correcting themselves without making a big deal. That is the one thing that honestly gets me with my mother, is she'll sometimes correct herself on occasion, but a lot of the time it seems like she doesn't. So, yeah. Don't question the mods. One of the other big things. So what have I been talking about? So dead name is a person is assigned to a person at birth when they've opted to change for their own reasons. The dead name is the name assigned to a person at birth that they opted to change for their own reasons. I've got some notes here. I'm just reading off those really quickly. Where were we up to? We did the attached to a role thing. Disrespect for identity. One big thing is, and There's a Magic Man in the cat. Why is Magic Man in the cat? What the? Magic Man? Why are you in the cat? Anywho. You feel you've done pretty good with friends who have changed their names, and seeing as you are terrible with names, to begin with, you feel you've done okay. Magic Man in the pussy. Well, I mean, if you're trying and you're actually, making some progress and succeeding there, then good. That's good.
Welcome
That's what you want.
to the Rogue Room.
Muff Uvu. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. You got one eye on... Oh, yeah, you guys are watching wrestling, hey. One thing that came up recently was the fact that you have no right to know a person's dead name. If you do know a person's dead name, it's worth it to just put that information away. Lock it away. If you know someone before they transitioned, don't use that name at all. Even in, if you happen to have known someone that you particularly maybe dislike online or anything like that, it doesn't even have to be online, it could be offline, doesn't matter, but there has been a bit of a thing with regards to certain transgender people in the online space particularly, where if one of them happens to say something that upsets someone else, their antagonists, I suppose, in the discussion will specifically go and try to dead name them as a result of that. It's just the lowest blow that they could possibly go for. And in my personal opinion, even if you do know it, it's worth it to put that information aside. Like you've said, Seabase, you made a habit to try and forget your friends' dead names. Call your children their siblings' name all the time. You're entitled to a few passes on the wrong names. I get my children's names wrong with each other sometimes. That's really bad. I am she, her. My pronouns are she, her. We do have the pronouns extension installed, and I was writing a little thing so I could assign it to a button on my Stream Deck and just go, if someone asks me what my pronouns are, press a button and it'll give you a little very brief synopsis about who I am. Might help with things. It's always a challenge for a sec, but it's oh, the person who was on the podcast with that person, but now they're called X. I think I get what you mean. You defend your enemy if they were dead named and misgendered. Give them shit for being a dick. Exactly, question people's ideas, don't question their identity. And this is the problem with, if we go back to the don't call me a bro. If we go back to the Isaac Butterfield video, because that's such a fun video to come back to, that trans Jedi bullshit, where he mentions the pronouns in the bio of the guy that that attacked Joe Rogan or whatever it was. He mentions that the guy's got pronouns in his bio. It's I could tell you're a fucking man. And it's that's just a blatant low blow attack on someone else's identity. You don't need pronouns in your bio. I could tell you're a fucking man and all that sort of shit. So even though, that's, you look at that particular statement, and there's a point, this my autistic brain is kicking in right now and I can't think straight, which is really fucking painful. Let me think. It's you don't think it's an attack. You don't think that's an attack. Oh god, I had a point that I was going to make here and I've just lost it. It relates to the same sort of thing we were talking about, you don't attack a person's identity. Even if you're, oh my god, okay, we got auto mod back, by the way. There we go. You don't need to tell me you're gay. Yes, exactly. You call everyone dude, and one time the Cisco got really upset from that and gave me the spiel about gender neutral language, said, okay, you're a dade from now on. Dudes and dades. Dudes and dames? What about dames? Can we bring back dames? I like the term dames, but some people might see it as demeaning. Amazing if it took you out of commission. I hope you're okay. I do like the controversy. I'm trying to think, I had a point. Oh, dades is Danish. Okay. No, dames. D-A-M-E-S. Dame. Day-meaning. Yeah, I think let's not do dames. On second thought. Let's not do dames. It does feel demeaning, doesn't it? When you think about it. It's the very picture of like that 1940s guy working in an office smoking. Very Mad Men vibe. Chaps and chicks. I feel like those two don't go together. What is a dame? It was a term used a time ago to refer to women in general. Dicks and chicks. That's one way to do it. Calling trans folks by a fake dead name is one that comes up a lot. There, you know, you'll see certain trans women around, and their name could be twisted into a masculine name, and people will dead name them based on what they interpret that person. Like, you know, a common trope, a common stereotype of transgender people is that they take the name they had assigned at birth, and they just masculinize it or feminize it into whatever the opposite might be. And some people just assume that's what every single trans person does. Abigail could not be any further from my dead name. You know, I specifically did that on purpose. I didn't want any association with my dead name in my existing name. I don't even know what you would call me if you were to do this fake dead name shit that some people do online. But if you've got someone who is... What's a good example? If you've got someone online who is a Maria, and you go and call them Matthew or Mark or something like that, you know, and that is to say, if you're being an antagonist, if you're being a contrarian, if you're trying to attack them, bussies and pussies. Hey, balls. Anyway, I like the term that sounds like mum, but it's similar to ma'am. I think I know what you mean. How would you make Abigail a boy name? There's a challenge for you. I will freely give you guys. Let's make this a competition. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Okay. I will give you guys. I give you guys a free pass to try and fake dead name me with Abigail. Try and fake dead name Abigail for me. I want to see what you guys come up with. We've got Abe, Abigail, Abel. That's a good one. Abraham, Albin. I've never heard of the name Albin before. This is a fun exercise. But of course, like, Lindsay did pretty well as a boy name. Abjin. You're just looking up A names for men, aren't you? That's what you're doing. Aubergine. It's definitely made you more aware of the language you use. You call everyone bro or dude, me being female, identifying to female, male, non-binary, identifying friends. Haven't noticed, but over things like chat, it seems like words carry more weight. I think I do agree with that, yeah. It's something about the idea of speaking... the phrase dude or guy. Bro for me is specifically masculine, but like guys and dudes and stuff like that feels gender neutral in speech, face to face. But then the moment you put it to text in chat over here, you guys are over here and you're over here. You're on both sides of me, by the way. You're on both sides of me. Folks is very inclusive. It includes everyone. But in text, like I said, guys and dudes feels like it can be very, very gender neutral. And then once you put it into text, it sort of loses that. For some reason, I look at the word and I'm just like, there's something about it that's like not gender neutral anymore. Hello, Gildy. How you doing, lovely? What's going on? Arno, Amonath, Albuquerque, a big gains, Brian. Is that because I keep using the name Brian as a reference, as a Morse cough? Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. What did I miss? So not the Messiah, just a very naughty girl. I am a very naughty girl. I self-flagellate every night. Actually, I don't. Arby's. Oh, Abigail. I'm very gay. That's kind of that topic. Dude is for you, for me the inanimate object that just fell off the chest of drawers. I feel like how you say guys and dudes can affect it too. Like I'll say my dude in a general way. Arithmetic. I'll take arithmetic. I've never tried Arby's because I've never been to America. Is Arby's any good? On barbed wire. Is that my new dead name, is it? We are now choosing my new dead name. And ladies and gentlemen, we got him. The basic gist of it, to sum it all up. To sum up the topic, there's never any need for a person to dead name anyone other than, like, and I say other than, not in a good way. There's never any reason to dead name someone other than trying to specifically attack, deride, and take down their mental health effectively. There's never any good intention behind dead naming someone. And if you do know someone's dead name, and the thing is, I can forgive my mother a bit because she did raise me almost entirely solo, and she's known me as my dead name my entire life. She's known me as he, him my entire life. So I can understand that she's struggling with it a little bit, and making comments on my transition timeline photo like I love both. I don't think she realizes how harmful that can be. But on the other end of the spectrum, what about as like a villain doing a one-liner before they kills the trans character off for drama? There was actually a discussion about trans movies and the fact that trans movies have a tendency to kill the trans character or rape the trans character, and a bit tiresome, that kind of trope. Can we do away with that notion? I prefer to not see any more of that. Like, we were discussing Boys Don't Cry the other night, and it strikes me now how much, that movie is problematic, given the fact that it does use all of those transphobic tropes. But the problem there, of course, is that Boys Don't Cry is based on a true story, so all those things did actually happen. Bit like how the black guy dies first. God, dude, did you watch X-Men First Class? They introduce a character called Darwin, who can adapt to literally anything and is virtually impossible to kill, and he's black, and they meet the villain 2 minutes later, and the villain kills him. Successfully. Hollywood, you fucking racist, mate. He can survive anything except racism. That was so fucking blatant. That was the most blatant, offensive shit. Holy fuck, dude. And the thing is, X-Men First Class is otherwise a good movie. But that particular thing is like, Jesus. There you go, Turquoise. Enjoy my trans pride ring. Sad that true stories end up with dead trans people. That is true. This is the worry. This is the worry about, like, my ex screaming out in the street, I appreciate, I'll support your transition, screaming it out in anger at me. You don't need to tell other people in my surrounding area that I'm transitioning. What if one of my neighbors happens to be a psychopathic bigot? That's what I'm genuinely terrified of that, honestly. I'm genuinely terrified that one of my neighbors just cottons onto the fact that I'm trans. I mean, I've lived here prior to my transition, so they should know. If they spot me out putting out the bins or whatever. Anxiety kicking in for no reason. Radio Turquoise, have a good one. Stay safe, stay well. It's like reckless endangerment, exactly. Like, you don't put someone in front of a moving truck. The fact that we need trans plus-size POC representation that doesn't focus solely on the fact that they identify how they do, like a main character who identifies like that, but a huge plot point isn't about them being that way. Exactly. You'd like more brown representation that isn't just black? There's a story about, did you guys hear that Emily in Paris, I believe, was the name of the show. It was, everyone called it Emily in Paris, but allegedly, according to the creator, it's supposed to be pronounced Emily in Paris. So it rhymes, Apparently, according to the creator of the show, they pitched it as an Indian girl. Originally, the protagonist was an Indian girl. Got rejected super fucking hard. They changed it to a white girl. All of a sudden, the show's getting made. Funny how that works. Is it transphobic to not put any trans character in a story you're making because you have zero fucking clue how to do it? Honestly, no. I will agree with Lulu, though. Calm your tits. Hiya, Abby. Personally, my personal opinion, if you're creating a story and you have no trans friends to talk to, if you don't know any transgender people, if you can't get the experience of a transgender person to properly help fill out your representation of that person, don't write that person. Because there are elements of fiction, of course, where you can absolutely go as stupid as you want. Just go absolutely as stupid as you want with making shit up. That's the great thing about fiction, is you can make shit up. The problem, of course, is if you take real world things and then make shit up about those, then that particular representation, like for example J.K. Rowling's 900-page book about the cross-dressing serial killer, what an original idea she had there, by the way. It's clear she's blatantly uninformed and woefully unaware of just how harmful that stereotype is to trans women. You know, we've been continually, don't pull a deadly premonition too, exactly. We've been continually misrepresented in media as being cross-dressing, women-raping serial killers, creepy people, predators, and all of that. And we don't want more of that shit, you know? Anywho. There was something I wanted to move on to, actually. Because, yeah, we got through the dead names thing. I just wanted to talk about that because it's been on my mind, especially with my ex and my mother and all that. And the thing is, I do think my mother is very, very supportive of my transition. She is. My mother has been, honestly, one of the most crucial people in my life. Without her, I probably... Well, I mean, this is going to sound really ironic. Without my mother, I wouldn't be here. But really, though, like, my mother has been such a tremendous influence. Being the primary guardian of me and my sister for our entire lives. You know, Dad being an occasional parent, constantly focused on his career, that our parents split at a young age. And my mother, honestly, has been a direct influence on me as a person. Has been a direct influence on my my growth into who I am today. And I think there was definitely a period where I bucked against all of that influence. I bucked against all of that.
Appreciates your recommendation.
Family, thank you for the host, friend. You getting a head off? You're getting tired, Kez. Have a good one, friend. Have a good rest. Where is Turf Island? The UK, Lulu. JK is a woman and woman life hard, and we're in danger against chromosomes. I'm not on your auto. I don't even look at my auto host list. You know what? I was thinking the crazy idea. Oh no, I don't think he's streaming at the moment because he's overhauling his shit. I was considering once we're done with the stream, raiding Barjo, but I don't think he's overhauling his entire studio, so he's not live. But anywho. There's an idea for a future stream. Once Barjo's back online, I want to watch some Barjo again. I'm going to raid Barjo. You live on Turf Island. On the plus side, though, you also live in the same location as the Crown Princess of Turf Island, Abigail Thorne. Our heart, our Lord and Savior, Lady and Savior. I just get into the habit of saying Lord and Savior when we refer to the cube. It's a habit I gotta break. Anyway. Can I say I love her? Oh no, please cancel me. I want to see what happens. Please don't cancel me for misgendering somebody. Oh no. I might get more attention. That's literally how that works. I'm not gonna do the cancel culture spiel tonight. Oh god, I hate that whole thing. Seriously, my hair looks like rubbish tonight. I loathe it. I loathe and despise and detest it. I need to get a hair straightener, honestly. I need to get a hair straightener and I need to dye my hair, I think. I've been strongly considering it. Should you open your next stream? Yes, do it. Just absolutely start your stream up and start screeching racial slurs and homophobic slurs and preaching Nazi ideology. Just go ham on it. Get as cancelled can be. No, please don't. This is a joke for anyone who is not paying attention at Twitch moderation. That was a joke. Ha for the funnies. That's how you'll come back to streaming. You refuse to call it the UK until trans liberation is a thing. Yeah, true. How can you call yourselves the United Kingdom if you are specifically trying to oust certain people? Anyway, going back to my mother for a second, because I wanted to just get this sentiment off my chest. I was talking about certain artworks that I wanted to get an artwork to put above my bed. And I said to my mother, because she's a painter, like, well, is it possible I could show you some artworks that I really like and see if you could emulate that kind of style in that trans pride flag colors? And she said, yeah, we'll pick out a big canvas and she's going to do me a painting. So she's absolutely supportive. Like, she absolutely is. She does understand and she's trying her best, but yeah, just it makes me uncomfortable sometimes when she gets the name wrong and all that kind of stuff. Gonna do it and sue me for $1 million. I have a story about that. Back when I was in high school, went to like a sports day thing. I think we were going rock climbing, and I did that joke because I was an awkward teenager, awkward 14-year-old weirdo. Did that joke to a girl I had a crush on. Didn't speak to me ever again after that. Can't imagine why. Actually, when Scottish independence, the Tories stay in power because of the way devolution was handled, splitting the Labour vote but leaving the Tory vote intact. If Scotland gets free, they'll lose to the Northern vote. There you go. Brexit brought out the real assholes. If you're not straight, white, and cis, then you need to go home. Apparently, you are home. Exactly. Worcestershire. That's true of many places, though. It's like the thing that I absolutely hate seeing is a very common thing around here in Australia. You'll see four-wheel drives. Typically, it's always four-wheel drives. It's always the fucking four-wheel drives. The bumper sticker that says, it's got the Australian flag, like waving in the wind kind of thing. It says, if you don't love it, leave. And it's like, this is the thing that really, I really hate patriotism. I really loathe national patriotism. Because it infers that the country you live in is entirely perfect and without its flaws, and that you shouldn't criticize it. You shouldn't criticize problems with the land you come from. And that's an absolutely asinine idea. It needs to go away. It is nationalism. If you are telling people that they should leave your country because they disagree with the way things are run, because they disagree with systems that keep certain people from, say, being able to move up in the world, keep certain people in poverty, keep certain people in very, very complicated circumstances. If you disagree with the way the government is being run, if you disagree with their environmental policies, if you disagree with the fact that the Great Barrier Reef is being systemically destroyed at a rapid rate, if you disagree with the fact that the government is continually destroying Aboriginal heritage sites, if you disagree with the fact that the Aboriginal peoples are routinely stepped on by a white supremacist regime is probably the better word. Anyway, you get the point that I'm trying to make here, and you say shit like, if you don't love it, leave. You are complicit in all of the awful things that are happening under that regime. Quite frankly, we should never love the nation we live in. There should always be criticisms of it. I mean, utopia is impossible. Let's be real with ourselves here. The idea of a utopian society is literally impossible. You're never going to please everyone. No matter how much progress you make, there's always going to be someone who's not happy. And it's usually going to be people who are not happy about said progress. They want things to regress. Because the more rights you give to these people over here seem to think that they're losing rights by some obscene, unimaginable, unfathomable margin. It makes no sense. There's no basis in reality just because someone has more rights. Or someone has some rights that they didn't have before. doesn't mean you're losing any. You know? On top of the racism, other countries don't let disabled people in, so where would I, or more importantly, disabled people of color go? Exactly. You're born here but didn't choose to be, so why would I have any patriotism for what is ultimately a lottery? I entirely agree, Dal. I entirely agree. I was born in Australia. I have a lot of detestation for this country. There's so much wrong with it. We are run by a right-wing government that is regressive, that if they had the power would strip away our universal healthcare systems. They would strip away the system that keeps me able to afford my own house, or not even my own house, to rent a shitty little shoebox apartment, honestly. This government, if they had the capacity, and believe me, they are trying, would repeal as many rights for certain social groups as they possibly can. It's like, why would I love that? If you don't love it, leave. Where the fuck am I supposed to go otherwise? Other governments of the world aren't exactly much better. You know, like the situation in America, the situation in the UK, the situation in Europe, the situation in the Middle East, the situation in Mexico, Alaska, fuck it. Antarctica is probably the best situation. If I wanted to live in a potentially entirely welcoming environment, I'll go to Antarctica. I'll go live on a research station. There's only, what, like 8 people there? And they're all scientists. Sciencey, academic types tend to be fairly left-leaning, I think, maybe. The difference between being proud of your heritage and having nationalist pride, cough cough, the difference is racism. Nationalism is the pacifier for the poor so that they do not resent the rich. It absolutely is. You're absolutely right there, Neris. By choosing patriotism, by choosing to, and this was, you know, again, the Donald Trump trying to institute patriotic education systems for public schools and what have you. This is the huge problem, is like there's already such a huge propaganda machine making people as invested in being proud of, for example, being an Aussie, you know, Ocker, whatever the fuck they call us. I don't know. There's already a heavy investment in patriotism, and I've never understood it. Like, it's a flag, it's a rock sitting in the middle of the ocean. What exactly... Here's the question I want to ask to people who are specifically patriotic and nationalistic. What are you proud of about your country? What exactly is it about the country you live in that makes you proud to be there? What has the country ever done for you specifically that makes you proud of it? You take pride in the fact that your city is built on multiculturalism. It's literally a massive melting pot. It's not perfect and we're all poor, but it's something you're proud of. You don't think that's a bad thing? Well, honestly, when you've said multiculturalism and it's a massive melting pot and it's not perfect and we're all poor, that is the problem, in my personal opinion, is once you've got a huge multicultural group of people living in a big area, but all of those people are affected by low income and incapacity to be able to move up in the world in some reasonable way, shape, or form, feeling systemically indentured into a certain standard of living, that is the problem. That is the bad thing. Now, multiculturalism is not the bad thing. Having a bunch of different people of multiple different cultures all living in the same area, coming together and community and all that, that's not a bad thing at all. But if they are living in a situation where the system specifically steps on them constantly, and they're all poor, and it's hard for them to get out of that poor situation, then that is the issue. Right now, the people are unhappy with the majority of us, i.e. they're not massively rich. Western society is specifically set up to profit a few elites at the top of major corporations. The rest of us are supposed to grind away until we die for their interests. Exactly. Corporations have no interest whatsoever in your specific quality of living. They have no interest in it. Flag-waving patriots are like the couple playing tonsil hockey on public transport. Oh, fuck. Just the Confederate flag in the US, people claiming it's for Southern pride, but also understanding the connotations behind it and still flying it. Regardless, the Confederate flag stood for the South being traitors, so regardless, why would you fly it? Yeah, that's the funny thing, right? Is like, typically speaking, the Confederate flag and the Nazi flag go hand in hand, and those are two flags of historical losers. Those are two flags of groups that historically are losers. They lost. The Confederacy lost. The Nazis lost. Why would you fly flags for losers? Why would you do that? Obviously, it's because their ideology aligns with what those flags represent. Fucking auto mod, dude. I'm glad, because then we can, I can permit terms and people can't just come in spamming N-word, 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 ideally. Love St. George's Day. People get all patriotic and white pride, not realizing that they're waving the flag of a Middle Eastern man. What's St. George's Day? I don't know this one. Let me have a look here. St. George's Day, also called the Feast of St. George, as celebrated by various Christian churches and by the several nations, kingdoms, countries, and cities of which St. George is the patron saint, including Bulgaria, England, and regions of Portugal and Spain. St. George's Day is celebrated on the 23rd of April. However, the Church of England denotes that no Saint's Day should be celebrated between Palm Sunday and the Sunday after Easter Day. So if the 23rd of April falls in that period, the celebrations are transferred to after it. 23rd of April is traditionally accepted of the saint's death in the Diocletianic persecution of AD 303. It's like England Day. You like to play Spot the Stupid. Even the colours look. I mean, I know it's just the flag of England, but seeing people wearing a flag in any way, shape, or form is always uncomfortable. I don't know what to make of it. Because again, the flag represents the system that you live under, the system that you are lorded over from. So, but the reality of the situation is, like, well, while we may talk about systemic issues, while we may talk about all of the things that you shouldn't be proud of within your country, a lot of people just are not aware of these particular things. You know, I talk about stuff that's fairly obvious. It should be, quite frankly, obvious to most people. But the reality is it's not. There's a lot of people who are patriotic because, specifically, whether as a result of their upbringing or their education or lack thereof on the subject, like, they don't teach you about this stuff in school, generally speaking. That, again, comes back to that patriotic education idea. It's like, yeah, I think there's just a lot of people who get patriotic and nationalist over not knowing better, realistically speaking. They take for granted all of the things that have allowed them the freedoms of living in what they would consider a modern society. Oh, we got smartphones and nice cars and high-def televisions and all that shit. And I get to go and work in whichever job I like. Freedom to celebrate whatever religion you like. And then in that thing, they don't know of all the deeper systemic issues. On the 4th of July, your friends and you saw a dude with a Confederate flag on his car. We were in a relatively hick part of town. Your friend shouted, "You lost the war." The car slammed its brakes but drove off. We were scared because they were the kind of people who would have a gun in their glove box. Oh, God. Oh, that reminds me of, there was a topic I was going to talk about. Where was it? Oh, this. There was this topic I was going to talk about yesterday, but I didn't. Since we're on the topic of... We were kind of on the topic of Turf Island. Well, we were, I suppose. You're now getting DMs. What, here on Twitch? Saying you're poor as fuck. Wait, seriously? Are people DMing you here saying you're poor as fuck because your family has health? Because your family has health, you're not poor and you're ungrateful. Wait, what? Is that what you mean? Like here? On this platform right now, as we speak? Is that what you mean? I'm good. I need validation here. Knowing your situation with your son, would you say you're ungrateful? No. I wouldn't say that at all. Worship the cube. We must worship the cube. Actually, we shall return to our worship. I fucking hate this, dude. I was trying to do a bit, but there is something fucky with the frame rate. Like, look at this. Look at this camera. Look at how smooth this is. Look at how, like, crisp and clean this is. We go to this one, I have a choppy frame rate. I don't know why it does that. These are the same camera. They're the same exact camera. And one of them is dog shit. And the thing is, I fiddled with it before. This camera had the good frame rate, and this one didn't. Sorry, I had to ramble about that. Anyway, I was going to say let's worship the cube in a moment, because I don't know if they're silica. I think they are plastic. This is the Antsy Labs one. It's hard to tell. I don't know. Could it be a plugin? I'm not sure, Riot Girl. I'll have a look. I'll see if I can figure it out. I just want both of my cameras to run at nice, smooth, crisp 60 frames per second. Shouldn't be that big of an ask. Anyway, we'll be right back. I'm going to refill my water. I might even grab a second coffee, even though it's 10:30 at night. I really shouldn't. But anyway, we'll come back in just a moment. Don't go away. I love your face. Remove the monitor from the shot. Okay, hold on. Let's see for a second. Alright. Oh, yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? That doesn't really look like it's fixed much. But I may need to like deactivate the camera and reactivate it to get it to work. How you folks doing, by the way? I'm not looking there. I was actually going to consider moving that camera, but I don't know where I can put it. Any suggestions where you would like to see me put the camera? Where would be another spot? I could... Death Rowdy Low, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink of water, and chill out with us. Oh, gosh. Where would you think would be a good spot for me to put the camera? The other camera, the secondary camera. I mean, the issue, of course, is that I don't really have many spots I could put it. Just chilling and doing college work at 5:36 a.m. as you do. How about? I got an idea. Hi, how are you? You'll have to forgive me because my other area is a bit of a mess. But, for example, here's an idea for an alternative camera angle. Stop choking, you're not into that. There's one perspective.
Welcome
There's
to the
one
Rogue Room.
sociological perspective. Welcome to the Rogue Room. YT Armin plays. How you doing, dude? How you doing, Armin? Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. The wrong camera is Stream muted? No, the stream's not muted. I can see my mic audio going up. But there you go. You get an idea of like what's on the other side of the room, and then we go over here and bang. What do you think? Does that look okay? It's still framey, but I'll fiddle with it and see if I can get it to not be so framey anymore. You can see Kitty Pillow. It's actually it. Detroit. There you go. Oh, my ring. We gotta have the ring, bro. Important. It's crucial. The Kitty Pillow. I'm gonna regret this because my cat has slept in it. Nya nya. Ew. Oh fuck. It's got his fur in it and everything. I'm like, oh gross. Anyway. I like the aesthetic of my room. I like it too. I've been working on it. ContraPoint's lawsuit pending. Hey, I'd get to meet Natalie if that happened. Yeah, it's a mask. This is the thing that I hate. Like, my hair looks really thin. Like, it looks like I'm balding on top, and I hate that. Solid plan. Get into a lawsuit with someone. You know, do they have to sign like certain legal documents that you get to keep? Because that's one way to get like a a autograph. Oh fuck. Make the first move, sue her. There we go. Yeah, I like when my hair looks like this, but then it doesn't look so good over this side. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I am now brushing my hair, using my camera as a mirror. Any good topics? We've talked a bit about... We started on Marxism, actually. We started on Marxism. We've talked a bit about dead naming. We've talked about... we were talking about nationalism. All the issues I've got with that. Now we're talking about my hair. And the fact that I've moved my secondary camera to this spot. Which is not quite... Like, if I can... I need to get, like, another tripod or something. Blah. That's not the best. There we go. Trying to get my hair to sit the way I like. See, this is what I hate. Is this? I have a widow's peak, and I fucking loathe it. You like the other one? You like it over here? That can be a thing. It does kind of have a... That looks fucking gross. But I'll fiddle with this. I'll play around with this and see if I can get it to look how I want it to look. That area over there is a mess at the moment. But that's where I keep like all of my accessories, generally speaking, as you can tell. Got my makeup. It's got my board games. You can see my board games over there. But yeah, so that's generally just become like a kiddie cushion. Yeah, it doesn't actually do anything. It's Hero Quest, not EverQuest, Hero Quest. Don't mind your Widow's Peak, but you were bullied for it. I used to not mind it, but, you know, time came that, I found myself as a girl, and it doesn't feel particularly feminine to have a Widow's Peak, even though I've seen women with Widow's Peaks. That's my own issue. Widow's Peak is, the hairline sort of comes up a little bit and then comes back. It's sort of like an M shape. You know Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z? He's a notable character with a Widow's Peak. Prominent Widow's Peak. But yeah, Hero Quest, one of my favorite board games. I had the intention to play... Actually, I wanted to play with you folks. What was I going to say? I wanted to play with you folks one day. Set up a game of Hero Quest that chat can get involved in. Hi, Hecklin. How you doing? Let me see. Last time you got your haircut, your hairstylist was always like, "You're getting grey hair already." Oh my god. Oh, don't say that. Another thing that my my ex decided to attack me on was on one occasion. She saw the top of my head and she said, "It looks like you're thinning a bit there." It's like, yeah, you know, you could just not the fuck say that. That would be a good thing, cunt. I don't like people. There's a lot of people I just don't like. Hair stops growing at the corners of your forehead, yeah. I'm trying to fix this. And it's bothering me. Yeah, I want that hair. I don't want the strands to have the skin showing through them. Which is what is annoying me at the moment. I don't want that shit. Stop it. I really want much thicker hair. It's bothering me. Because the thing is, there's no real indication. There's no real indication in my family line that I would be losing hair at any point. So I don't see why I would start now. It's not like male pattern baldness or anything like that. I'm specifically on testosterone blockers, and excess testosterone can lead to hair loss. You're AFAB envy. Girls try to tell you it was masculine and you were going bald. It's just how your hairline is. Yeah, true. True. Don't pull hair too tightly. I know that one. I don't pull my hair too tightly anymore. I tend to keep it very loose. Loose ponytail. I do tend to end up, when I wash my hair, I do tend to end up with like some of it falling out in the shower and stuff, but that's just normal. That's what happens. Yeah, it's just how it's always been how my hairline is personally. Hair falls out with extreme weather change. Really? That's a thing. What kind of weather change is it? Or do you just mean like in general if it goes like super hot to super cold? I suppose that makes sense. Yeah, it's weird. I shouldn't be shocked by that. I never had that phase where summer to winter hair falls out. Okay, yeah, there you go. Wouldn't it be winter to summer though? Like, wouldn't it make more sense for our bodies to do that because, you know, having more hair during a colder season? Kind of like a cat sheds its winter coat. My cat sheds constantly. Little fuckwit. There's always little clumps of hair all over my fucking house, dude. Can he stop? Okay, this is still very framey. Let me try something. Oh, no, I can't. Because I'd have to close OBS to reload it. I'm going to try this for a sec. Goodbye! Oh god. We're now pitch black, but I think that has fixed the frame rate. For some reason that has fixed the frame rate, but there we go. Auto exposure is on. Turn that off. Turn that down, not that much. God. Late night Abby. Stress can cause hair shed, that's true. Low light comp, let's turn that off. But as far as I can tell, nope, didn't fix the frame rate. It did for a second. Hang on, let me try that again. Deactivate. Activate. There we go. We now have 2 cameras with reasonable frame rates, but this one seems particularly washed out for some reason. I don't know what the deal is. Color balance is wrong on it. Let's fiddle around a bit. Streaming till 12? Yeah, we'll go till 12. Oh, that's why. The color balance is all the way over at 6500 for fuck's sake. Do you the fuck mind, mate? Let's... If I toggle on auto exposure and auto focus, what does that actually do? Hello, official OJ, how you doing? We're fiddling with multiple cameras tonight. This one, I think it's the ring light with this one, actually. That would make the most sense. Yeah. I've got the ring light over here, so that's like casting a really good light dynamic. You're getting yelled at in Twitch DMs. What do you mean? Doom and gloom. I want to play Doom again. I mean, she never clarified. Lulu was saying she was getting yelled at in DMs about being poor, and I'm just like, what, Twitch DMs? I don't know if she ever clarified. I'm like, what's going on? I'm not getting any DMs. I've been checking my Twitch just to see if I've been getting any DMs. No DMs on my end. Folks, if you are here, if you're chilling out in my chat, and if you're like sitting in the background harassing my people, please don't do that. That's not nice. Don't be kind to yourselves and each other is a rule around these parts. Please don't be rude to my community members. There's no need for that. You know, we don't deserve that. We don't deserve that shit. No one here deserves that shit. Yeah, if they aren't in chat, if you, what are they saying to you? But yeah, generally speaking. What's this stream then? W986. We chill out, we chat, we talk about various topics. What are you interested in? The real W986. There's something that I have. What are you guys thinking about? Actually, since Twitch is a gaming platform, there is something I wanted to discuss today. Generally speaking, I tend to focus on philosophy, politics. What else would you folks say that I focus on? I suppose, generally speaking, queer issues, particularly trans issues. I'm looking at Posey Parker's stupid face at the moment because there was an article I was going to read. But I was actually, remarkably, because Twitch is arguably a game streaming platform, despite the fact that just chatting is one of the biggest categories on the platform, I was considering talking about nostalgia in video games for a bit. Talking about like some of the games that have greatly influenced me over the years, some of the games that have brought me immense joy and, you know, taught me to develop a love of gaming, honestly. Which I've had some. I've had some. What would the phrase be? You know, I've had some ins and outs with gaming, for sure. There have been significant periods in my life for some reason, and I'm going through one right now. Like, we did just recently finish Dead Space at the tail end of 2020, or just like coming into 2021. And I just, you know, once I came back from my little break, I think I started shifting towards just chatting. And I have found that I am very much enjoying the discussion-laden format here, as opposed to gaming. So, being that I don't tend to give myself a lot of free time, I haven't been playing anything lately. Although, I am particularly interested lately for some reason in going back and finishing, like, doing the 100% stuff in Spider-Man, which I never got around to doing. Interested in all sorts, just looking for a chill LGBTQIA plus friendly stream to watch as you play Sea of Thieves in the background. Well, I think you found the right place. I think you've definitely found the right place. We do get pretty heavy with certain topics at times, but you know, I've been trying to skew especially towards a particular. Just trying to think for a second. Like, I've definitely had moments of perhaps particularly energetic and sometimes aggressive responses to certain topics and certain ideas being put before me. And in the past week or two especially, I have been trying my damnedest to cull that entirely. I do get excited about a few things, but I've been trying my best to chill things out a bit, I think. And I think it's been working for me to some extent. Very recently I got into... Have I played The Beginner's Guide and or Edith Finch? I have not played either of those. I have heard good things. Do it? Maybe I will one day soon. Maybe I will. But like there has been... I'm just thinking. I'm very, very thinky tonight. Edith is on Game Pass. I actually cancelled. Oh, I don't think I cancelled my Game Pass, but it got cancelled because I had no money in my account at the time or something like that. So I haven't renewed it. I also cancelled my PlayStation Plus. My PlayStation Plus, which is going to disappoint my son in the not too distant future because he loves playing Knack. And I'm just like, I don't want to have that little nagging constant monthly microtransaction of $12 a month or whatever. I don't want to have that looming over my head. It's like, oh, suddenly I'm down $12 because PlayStation came out again. Yeah, my son loves Knack, unironically. He's 4. It's the kind of game that a 4-year-old can complete. One get good taste. He chose it. It was on PlayStation Plus at some point, so I got it just for the sake of having it. He found it and he loves it for some reason. Why PS Plus? Because, yeah, it was on PlayStation Plus as free games last year or the year before. So I don't actually own the game. Thereby, when I run out of PlayStation Plus, which will run out on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, you won't be able to play that, or Rocket League, or Fall Guys, or there's a lot of games I have on PS Plus that are just going to go away.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Near Luna, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. And yeah, like, unironically, I have considered streaming Knack, because I've seen him play it. It looks so bloody dross, honestly. Wasn't bad, you think? Just everything I've seen of it looks really milquetoast in terms of gameplay mechanics. I said it right, there we go. Do I get a round of applause for that one? I think I do. I get a round of applause for that one. But yeah, like the actual gameplay mechanics are very, very shallow. And it definitely strikes me as though Knack was made specifically as a one of those kind of technical demos, a tech demo for the game, for the PlayStation, sorry. But they made a full-blown game out of it that's got like something like 20-something missions, fully fleshed out storyline. I feel like I know the storyline back to front now because my son has played it so many times. You love my room, thank you. They made a sequel for a reason, to show off even more of the tech. But yeah, one of the big issues that I seem to have with it is like, it's a kid's game, through and through. It's a mascot game, right? And yet, the mascot they've given to a kid's game is made up of all these tiny little geometric shapes that have got little fine details on them and all move and shift and interlinked. The real W986, please. Thanks so kindly for stopping by tonight. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Yeah, it's like you look at a character like Sonic or Crash Bandicoot or any of the other more well-known mascots, Banjo-Kazooie, Mario, obviously, and then you look at Knack, and it's very clear this kind of game designed to appeal to children, designed to have a bit of a mascot thing to it. I feel like all the other little characters are specifically easy for kids to draw, for example. Who the fuck is going to draw Knack? What fucking child in their downtime between playing video games is going to pick up a pencil and paper and draw Knack? Fucking garbage character design. It's welcome to see random geometric trash. Here's a cone, and a sphere, and a cube. There you go, you little shit. You hit a vibe so you don't self-destruct again. We have memories, they come back out of the blue. We do. If you guys are enjoying the stream, if you folks, I gotta stop saying guys. It's not gender neutral. If you folks... Sorry, Rose, I just saw your comment, and that's great, and you absolutely should. Is it a cube? We don't know. You know what's great is, like, I'm not fidgeting with my fidgety stuff at the moment. I'm fidgeting with my dress. I'm stimming on my dress right now. Hi guys, I'm stimming on my dress right now. It's a cube. No, it's a Knack testicle. Humans is too exhausting to say over and over again. But welcome in, Unicorn Frappe. I hope you're doing well. When she stims on her dress. I've been doing the fucking this thing lately. You know, for those of you who are not aware, like, I'm very, very autistic. Very autistic. I have autism spectrum. Let me just, you know, point out the fucking obvious like I do every stream. I'm trans, I'm gay, I'm autistic, and I really like Dark Souls. I've got to hit it. Like, Grizz and I agreed to do a Dark Souls 3 stream, and we just haven't organized it. One of these days soon, you're going to be watching me playing Dark Souls 3 with Grizzly Gaming. Yes, I am autism, please. Hi, I'm a homosexual, please. Thank you, Hecklin. Dark Souls fan, the new oppressed minority. We are, though! Like, think about this for a second. Here's a point that I can make about Dark Souls. Posture check. Straighten your back. Straighten your neck. Shoulders back. Okay. Keep it straight. Keep your posture very gay. You are in a gay stream right now, which means your posture has to be as gay as fucking gay can be. Thank you kindly very much. Anywho. Piss off, no. I'm going to make a point. I'm going to make a stupid fucking point. The amount of vitriol from the larger gaming community that I've seen towards Dark Souls and its community says to me that amid the gaming community on a broad scale, Dark Souls is a targeted minority. Dark Souls fans, genuine adorers and lovers of the Dark Souls franchise, are a targeted minority group. Okay? There are so many folks who just cannot and will not and refuse to get good. That's an ableist thing, though. Let's not go too deep into that. I genuinely think your spine is gay for having scoliosis. Literally everything is the Dark Souls of blank. Did you guys know Dark Souls 2 is the Dark Souls of Dark Souls? There you go. Keep it classy, yeah. Meant nothing bad by that. Hey girl, hey, wave. What? But yeah, like, I mean, like, not being serious, I don't believe, you know, that the Dark Souls community is actually a targeted minority, but there are so many people who refuse to play it, who will actively speak out against how bad it is because it's a hard video game, and they can't figure out the mechanics. Like, don't get me wrong, Dark Souls is specifically not easily accessible by its design. Whoa, what the heck? Eklund. Chill. Do you have any advice on coming out because your sister came out and got kicked out, so you're a bit scared because you're 13? Oh. Yeah. We will say that, don't mention age. It is an 18+ stream, so I gotta be careful. you're really toxic, have ADHD, they wouldn't let you get a therapist to diagnose you for like ever. You got diagnosed 2 years ago, and they've only just accepted it. Yes, that's true. Hecklin is only abiding by TOS. By the way, Ren, hi, how are you? Hey, how are you, Gorge? You have no interest in Dark Souls personally? That's understandable. But specifically, let me make this point. Specifically with regards to Dark Souls, there is a significant number of people who have not played the game or have played the tutorial, maybe, found they didn't like it, and have built up an irreverent hatred for the series. And I see it all the time in various different gaming communities. Dark Souls is bullshit. It's too hard. I couldn't get past the first boss. And it's perpetual. It's like, guys, the game came out 10 years ago. Get over it. I adore Dark Souls. I love Dark Souls. I love Dark Souls 3. I love Bloodborne. I love Sekiro. I tolerate Dark Souls 2. Okay. But the other ones are good. Sekiro is fucking amazing. Gamer masochists? Do you mean Dark Souls fans, or do you mean the people who refuse to learn how to play Dark Souls and prefer to whinge about it? If you type it differently, yes, true. I can try to answer the question, though. Let me go back. Have any advice on coming out? Honestly, like, the difficult thing. Like, even just, like, not addressing age directly, not addressing it by number, the age difference makes it so difficult for me to offer advice to anyone younger coming out, because I came out so late in my life. I'm already an adult. You know, I came out to my family when I was 31 as a transgender person. So my experience in that regard is so distinctly different. And I repressed so much when I was a teenager that I don't have the experience or the advice to offer, is the very complicated thing. Yeah, just like, that's the basic advice. Like Unicorn said, don't come out unless it is safe to do so. Personal safety is priority. Absolutely. Those are the two main things. You know, you want to make sure that if you do come out, it's not going to negatively impact you in a significant way. You want to make sure that you are going to remain safe. You are going to still have a roof over your head. You're not going to be abused. You know, those are the crucial points. I'm going to close this tab because I'm sick of looking at Posey Parker's stupid fucking face. Anyway, I didn't end up touching on that story. Sekiro was fucking amazing. Truly amazing. Like, I know it's one of those, you know, uber ultra hard games and such, but the reality of the situation is Sekiro is so masterfully crafted in every regard that you do yourself a disservice if you actively choose not to play it because it's a hard game. It is well worth picking up a controller and learning its mechanics. It is such an amazing experience in every aspect. And I want to revisit it on stream at some point. And I am of two minds, unfortunately. I am so fence city on the Dark Souls thing. Because on the one hand, I see the perspective of people who are saying games like Dark Souls are ableist. We're coming back to the ableist thing now. Well done, redeeming nothing broken. I like how that's just become... I like how it's just a message over here, by the way. More nothing. Oh, dude, my voice is fucking annoying me tonight. I've been trying, friends, to talk with my head voice and not my chest voice. Yeah, whenever my voice gets deeper, tends to be when I focus more intently on what is the topic of conversation. I lose the focus on talking with my girl voice, which is the voice I want to be putting out there, the voice I want to be practicing and getting better at. Getting a lot of voice dysphoria lately, it fucking sucks. You watch someone play it, Sekiro, it looks cool, but not your thing. I mean, that's fair. But still, highly advocate people play it. Anywho. What was I saying? I've forgotten. It is possible to change your voice by surgery. I don't know how much of a change there would be. Hecklin. There you go, doll. It's probably dangerous, but like any surgery is dangerous, realistically speaking. But it is possible to get a surgery done on your vocal cords, if I'm not mistaken, where they they make certain changes. I could get helium. They make certain adjustments in your throat, and as a result, you can't, like, it can raise your voice a couple octaves or something like that. It's your voice and I'm a girl, so it's a girl's voice regardless. That's true, it's true. And realistically speaking, like, trans women don't owe you femininity, but it just feels like I distinctly have to put on as much of it as I humanly possibly can. To feel valid as a transgender person. No, not as a transgender person. To feel valid as a woman. I feel like I have to put on as much femininity as I possibly can. Had VFS. What's VFS? Oh, vocal feminization surgery? How did it go for you? I must admit, I am strongly... If I have the money at some point, I'm strongly considering FFS. It's...
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Lovesick New... like GNU. Welcome to the Rogue Room. And Boastful. And Zesty Pretzels. Hang on a second. I'm just speculating. Yeah, I think something's happening.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Yeah, I think something's happening. Hold on. Great. Hold up a sec. We're getting this again. Are you serious?
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
How do you fix this? Ban them. Ban their accounts. And... God damn it, dude. Why do you folks do this? There we go. They're not going to be in our chat anymore. It's not popularity. It's fucking bullshit is what it is. Follow bots. Yay. There we go. I've turned that off. I don't know if that's going to... Somebody take a marker of like... Because those aren't accounts, man. Those aren't people. That's not persons. Anyway, I can turn my alerts back on now, because unless they're going to start subbotting me, please feel free to give me thousands upon thousands of subscriptions. It's still going on my end. Had a rad stream with a dozen new people. They were all new bots. You can tell by the way that their names are laid out. Goofy Apples 8, Offended Cur 7, Jubilant, like it's just word number. So it's just gonna keep botting until I fix it later on. God damn it, dude. That's so frustrating. Because, you know, now I'm back over 10,000 followers. Yeah, look at this. 13,000 followers. What the fuck's going on? Look at this shit. Look at this shit, dude. It's still happening. Look at this. Look at this fucking garbage. Dude, Twitch. Twitch has the technical capacity to shut this shit down, and they refuse to do so. For the record. They have the possibility. What the fuck? Why did that alert tick off? Oh no, I'm gonna have to go back and fix that after stream. What the hell? I turned the alerts off, cunt. Dude. I turned the fucking alerts off. Just popped up in your recommendations. Am I a gamer? I am, generally speaking. But I've been doing just chatting streams for a while now. And as of late. Follow alerts disabled. Go away. Jesus Christ. Okay, there we go. 2.9k followers. Yeah, it's around 2.9k at the moment is my actual follow account. So I'm going to have to go in and shut that down somehow. I'm going to have to load up Commander Root Tools. Because yet again, Twitch doesn't delete them. You got to use Commander Root Tools. So here's a bit of advice for folks if you do get hit with one of these stupid things. Go to Commander Root Tools. Twitch Tools by @CommanderRoot. twitchtools.rootonline.de. Follow a remover. You log in via Twitch and you put in the specific time that the event occurred, and you can refine it, and it'll automatically just block all of those accounts, which removes them from your follows list. So there you go. That's if you're a streamer and you get hit with that kind of thing. That's the way I did it last time, because I got hit with it on Minecraft. But Twitch don't fucking do anything, for the record. Twitch doesn't do a fucking thing. They refuse to. We've talked about follow bots for months and months and months, and they refuse to do anything about it. But yeah, in terms of games, honestly, like one of the games I was going to come back to was Stardew Valley sometime soon. I've been really feeling Stardew Valley. It's a really chill, really relaxed game where we can just unwind and not think about the world and all of that, and it's really nice. Minecraft is one, Terraria is one that I've played a lot of, Skyrim. I wouldn't mind doing another Skyrim playthrough at some point, especially in the wake of the unfortunate passing of... Let me look up his name because I've forgotten what his name was. Was it Christopher Plummer? What's his name? An actor recently passed away who played the role of Arngeir, who is one of the Greybeards in Skyrim, the lead one, in fact, who actually speaks to you because the other ones don't speak. And yeah, Christopher Plummer, unfortunately, I mean, he was 91, so it's not entirely unexpected, but it is still regrettable that he has passed. And I think it'd be a good little thing to revisit Skyrim, get to hear a bit of his voice. What the hell? That was in Automod. Arngeir. I suppose you could look at that and see it as technically a slur. The sequence of letters. Okay, let's talk about why follower bots are bad. Twitch doesn't care as long as it keeps making profit for Bezos. So, first and foremost, the follows are not real people. They are just empty, dead bot accounts that are not going to benefit me in any way, shape, or form. They're going to make me look worse if I have, like I said, 14,000 followers now. Again, I've been up at this position before, and I'm going to make an angry post about it. How about we point this out now? Let's do something. Let's do a quick stream marker so I can do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, so Twitch, I'm speaking to you and I'm speaking to everyone else out there. This follower bot bullshit, I don't have 14,000 followers, okay? I do not have 14,000 followers. I was just hit with a follower bot attack, which I shut down by turning off my Streamlabs chatbot, follow notifications, and my Streamlabs notifications for followers in the Streamlabs interface. That was the only way I was able to shut it down. If you do, and I've just seen someone who has followed Hunatic, if you're a real person, which your username implies to me that you are, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Yes, you are real fantastic. I'm glad to hear it. The issue, of course, is that these chatbots routinely get around Twitch. They'll find a stream, they'll target them, and they'll just spam you with alerts so that your alert is constantly going off. If some people have particularly, like there are some people who go really, really ridiculous with their alerts at times. They'll have a really big flashy GIF, it might fill the screen, it might have the message pop up in wavy colors or whatever. And if that is constantly being spammed over and over again, it can actually have an effect on your PC, as well as, of course, taking all the wind out of the stream. You know, you lose all of your enthusiasm, you get distracted, and that's the point. They're trying to distract you and trying to destroy the actual air of the stream. Sorry, I hit the microphone. And I've had this encounter before, once in Minecraft. It was like a year or so ago, and I managed to use something called Commander Root Tools to reverse it. And what that basically does is you put your Twitch info in, you select the specific point when it starts happening, excuse me, and it'll automatically block every single one of those bot accounts. So you can select right down to the minute, so I'll be able to find out exactly which times it happened and then act accordingly. What the fuck is this Rytoid thing? Anyway, that's my thoughts on the follow bot situation. I'm gonna clip that, cut it, ship it, put it on Twitter and all that sort of stuff after the fact. But yeah, Amazon has no reason to fix Twitch as it's a loss. It does run on a loss. Marnie gives Jazz alcohol. But Stardew is a good game, actually, yes. Twixie Puppy, what is the cube? This is the cube. 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 We respect and we worship the cube. We're over here now. That's what I was trying to do. Heck. I can't even remember what the put on the dress Rytoid thing was about. I've forgotten. The exact same cube. This is the Antsy Labs pink cube. Awesome, I love it. What is the cube for? It's a fidget toy. I'm autistic, so I fidget a lot. And I've got a bunch of stuff on my desk that I fidget with. Tonight I've been fidgeting with the tassels on my dress. It helps at times, not over much, but it is, for me personally, I think it's worth having it. I find it helps a bit. I would like to get a fidget spinner as well, because the feeling of the weight in the in your fingers is so cathartic. Like it's crazy how that works. Your mat has the exact same one. Have numbers in your name, but I can assure you, yes, I know you're a real Silent Storm. All hail the glow cloud, or whatever the fuck this background is. It's awesome. Anyway, we were talking about a bit of nostalgia. But yeah, the Rytoid thing, I actually forgot what the topic was. But I did the put on the dress Rytoid bit that Shoe on Head did. And I forget exactly what the context was when I was saying it. I honestly don't know. I could go back and watch the stream myself, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, we were talking games. We were talking a little bit about like nostalgia and discussing that I may actually revisit Skyrim in the not too distant future on stream, just to pay homage to Christopher Plummer. What did you stream after you give up on Fall Guys? Skyrim. But on the subject of games that give nostalgia, would I recommend buying Mass Effect, not Master Effect, Mass Effect Legendary Edition to someone who's never played it? Absolutely. Okay, I'll say this. I'll say that Mass Effect has its flaws, but in my opinion, of the two games I played the first two games. And yes, I am from Oz, by the way. I am in New South Wales. Did I miss something earlier on in chat? I think I did. Mass Effect is a tremendous game series, but I only played the first two of them, and I loved my experience with them. Actually a good example of an earlier RPG that has choices that do actually have an impact on the story. Because there were events you could participate in the first game, and when you got to the second game, the effects weren't hugely felt. But you would have, like, say there was a situation where you could kill someone, a particular character, in Mass Effect 1. If you let them live, they'd show up in Mass Effect 2 somewhere, and you'd be able to interact with them, for example. I do need to play Mass Effect 3. I've got it on Xbox 360. I don't even know if I have a working Xbox 360 in the house anymore, though. I especially recommend the new edition as they're removing the objectification, which I believe Seabase might be the thing you're referring to, the latest bitch fit, about the fact that a certain character who is sexualized by her character's design for the record. Like, let's get that out of the way right now. The character is sexualized, but not for the sake of sexualized character. It's actually a part of her character. Well, I mean, yes, Garrus is intrinsically the sexiest character in the franchise by a large margin. We fucking stan Garrus Vakarian in this household, Gorge. But no, it's Miranda. Tali is... Okay, so it goes Garrus in terms of attractiveness, and then it's like way down here, where the rest of the attractiveness list starts. Tali is at the top of that list. Garrus is just so far beyond anyone else. It's unreasonable to try to compare anyone to Garrus Vakarian. But then, Tali Zoravas Normandy, and then everyone else. In whichever order, I don't fucking care. But yes, half her conversations are from the perspective of her ass in the originals. Now, here's the point that I was going to make. Again, I'm hating my voice right now. Fucking voice dysphoria. I'm hating my voice right now. I fucking hate it. Anyway, there is a point at which, during her personal storyline, when you interact with her over and over again, you learn things about your crewmates. You learn, kind of a spoiler, I guess, that Miranda... I'll just say it this way. Miranda, the character who is intensely sexualized, who has a skin-tight bodysuit, amazing ass, amazing tits, gorgeous face, long flowing hair, she's designed to be as sexually appealing as possible. And that is a part of her storyline. I'm just going to say that. And yeah, you're right, literally half her conversations are from the perspective of her ass. She's leaning over her desk and the camera's positioned at her buttocks and you're in the background talking to her. And I think once that point comes across in her storyline, it's like the reason she is so sexualized is because XYZ. Then somebody made the point, I forget who it was, I think it was Laura Kate Dale or whatever her name is, who is on Podquisition with Jim Sterling. like they made a good suggestion. It's like if they're changing the camera angle for those conversations, wait until she hits that point in her storyline where she goes, I'm sexy because XYZ, I am perfect because XYZ, then change the camera angle. Because then it becomes a narratively important element to her storyline. Trans liberation now. Thank you, Botwick. Makes the whole thing kind of surreal, yeah. So yeah. Heck yeah, Botwick. We fucking stan. Got called a Puritan no German because you agreed with the change. So what is the exact specific change? Like, I doubt they've actually done that, have they? Or have they? I suppose we're not going to know until the remaster is out. Hold up a second, folks. I'm going to do something. Because, and I'm probably going to regret this later on if I use my phone as a teleprompter, but anyway, I'm gonna lurk broken radio. Enjoy. I like the fact that my bot calls me Madam Rogue. I'm gonna have to try to log into the pronouns extension with Mr. Botwick so I can set them to they them, because I keep misgendering my bot. My bot is non-binary now. My bot's an NB. They them pronouns. It's a bot, but NB representation. Who is living in the tank? That is the lovely Vess, who I don't have any... she's not out at the moment. She won't be wandering around at the moment. Anyway, camera angle. Hi. Vess is my pet tarantula. And I'll show you a picture of her from... This was either from today or the other day. This is who's in the tank. That's who's in the tank. She's gorgeous. My little baby. And she's been active lately. She's been really active lately. I think because I turned off her heating pad. I turned it back on today. So I guarantee you can see, like... Well, you can't really see. But there's a little... on this wall of the tank, there's a heating pad. And she's built a little hole. There's a little tunnel that starts, like... about here. Ow. Tunnel that starts about here and goes down. Oh, she's there. Hold up. Let me try something for a second. Here we go. I doubt this is gonna work. It's gonna be very tricky. Okay. Let me see if I can... I don't know if I can chuck a zoom on this. But... you can't really see... He's right there. Right there. In her little hole. But you probably wouldn't be able to see her. See her little burrowing webs, yeah. But I'll take a photo of her, hang on. Not my face, very kindly. Not really a good photo, but... yeah, not really the best, but that's where she's sitting. If I can get it to focus on the photo. You can sort of make out, you know, the idea, the silhouette of her body amidst all of that. But yeah, that's my tarantula. You need to get a spider. You got a scorpion. I want a scorpion. I want a scorpion, dude. My hope is that, you know, at some point we see her crawling around in there in the background. It would be really cool if, like, she was just like up in the corner over here, just like chilling. Because I've seen her, like, that's the right there at the top is the opening to the enclosure, and I've seen her get up at the very top, right next to the opening, and it's really kind of exciting. She's just like, oh, I love spiders. Scorpions are so much cooler than tarantulas, fight me. Golden orbs would just go in the backyard here. There's an orb weaver that keeps making Hunatiki just sticks to your boring dogs. I mean, I've got a cat too. The cat's a little bit more cuddly, if I'm honest. Goodness gracious me. I'm just looking like I'm just scrolling down my Streamlabs Streamlabels extension and there's just follow notifications for days. Oh, why settle for madam when you can be a fucking queen? I know I'm a fucking queen. You don't need to call me queen all the time. I know, I infer it. Ours are so much bigger than the USA ones. Yeah, that's right. Not everything is bigger in America. Had so many orb weavers in your tomatoes last summer. Orb weavers are majestic creatures. They really are. Lovely spiders. I always feel weird looking up spiders on stream. Like, I adore them so much, but I worry... Oh my god, what the fuck? Well, that's a perspective thing, though. But, I mean... Oh, not that. They do get pretty huge, though. Golden orb weavers do get pretty fucking huge. I've seen some that are ridiculous. I always get weird looking up spiders on stream because I worry that I'm going to upset someone who's arachnophobic. But they're just creatures. They're just... I don't know. Speaking of scorpions, you kind of want to get another one of those Hot Licks candies that have scorpions. I want to get one of those. I want to try one. Everyone gangster till she fucking crawls out. I've had dreams about that. I've had nightmares of my spider getting out. And it's not my spider getting out that I'm worried about. It's, like, she can't. There's no way she can get out of there. It's a completely enclosed enclosure, as the name implies. I'm worried about her getting out and dying. I'm worried about my spider getting out and getting attacked by the cat, or getting out into the wild and she's a domestic spider getting fucked up. It's like, you can't put a lead on a spider. No one's going to find a tarantula and just assume, oh, that's a pet. Definitely recommend trying scorpion sometime. There is a candy shop not far from me that has a whole bunch of weird candies, and they've got the scorpions and witchetty grubs or whatever the fuck. They've got worms in candies, and I'm like, yeah. There's one with a spider in it. It's like, let's try it. Let's get a candy. Should I do that for stream? I'm gonna do it for stream. I'm gonna get an insect of some sort in a lollipop. Walking the spider on a leash. Dude, no word of a lie, I would absolutely love to have a small dog-sized spider as a pet. Huntsmen freak you out, but you're okay with other spiders. Yeah, weirdly enough, like, I understand the viewpoint there of them being the ones you're most okay with, because something about huntsmen... I don't know what it is. I'm not going to show this on stream because you've said that they make you uncomfortable. But they're like, you know what they remind me of? You know what huntsmen remind me of? They remind me of bulldogs. They remind me of bulldogs. I think it's bulldogs. And, yeah, they remind me of bully breed dogs. Good night, Fox. Have a good one. Have a very good one. Yeah, huntsmen remind me of bulldogs because they're just like... They're big, protective, little puppy dogs. They eat all the bad insects in the house. And they just chill. And they just chill, they hang out. I've been right up close to one. They don't jump at you or anything like that. They are very fast, though. Yeah, it's true. They move quick when they want to move. It can be intimidating, but... They're little babies. I want one. Oh gosh. This is not a photo I want to show on stream. Huntsmen's are pussies, stay spookies. Sorry, we got auto mod on at the moment because we keep getting people coming in with surprisingly the N-word all the time. It's like, guys, I'm trans and I'm gay. There's 2 free slurs there that you could opt for, trolls. And you go for the N-word. Like, dude. I don't get it. Easy targeting. I'm giving this advice away for free, trolls. Don't come in here spamming the N-word at me when there's 2 very, very easily accessible options. Yes, the N-word. Okay, this may seem really random and out of nowhere, but you never thought in your life you'd find someone who would want to date me and let me be in a relationship, but you finally found that person and you're so happy. Not gonna lie, gave you the courage to be me again. Well, that's good. That's good to hear. You're piecing out, streaming in the morning and stuff. Yeah, get some stuff done before you go to bed. Have a good one, Sammy. Thank you so kindly for being here. I appreciate you so much. If you're going to be a racist, please be original. At least use a racial slur for, like, gypsies or something. No, let's not act like these people even have the vaguest idea of any racial slur for an ethnic group that isn't black people. Let's be honest with ourselves. A couple weeks ago, you had a Huntsman on your TV chilling, watching you play Minecraft. Nice. Lovely little creatures. And I hate the absolute vitriol some people display towards spiders. There are some people who just, like, literally outright, you know, will vehemently express their disdain for spiders. Not like you are, Hecklin. I mean, like, absolutely genocidally, we should wipe out all the spiders. They're disgusting creatures. They freak me out. Yes, I'm brushing my hair at my desk because I'm a girl now, and that's what girls do. I'm trash. I'm human trash. Look at me. I'm a stereotype. Don't like looking at them from far away, but if one is on your car, you're crashing that bitch in a ditch. The thing is, like, they still startle me occasionally. Like, spiders do still startle me. But it's sort of like a momentary bit of discomfort, and then I'm like, aren't you a pretty little baby? You know, I stop and I'm like, oh, hello. Yeah, you're right, Martin. I was always a girl. True. It's always funny when I think back at I love that bit. When we were talking about how I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, right before I came out, I'd already sort of come to terms with the fact that I was going to have to come out at some point in that week where I was playing Ghost of Tsushima. And had shaved my face and had styled my hair a little bit more girly, was dressing a little bit androgynous, and I still don't think in any way, shape or form that I passed in any reasonable measure. Wasn't wearing any makeup or anything of the sort. I think I'd started painting my nails as an experiment, and people were coming in and calling me girly looking. People were coming in and calling me girly looking before I was out, before I had transitioned. And now the rhetoric has shifted on its head whenever we get trolls in saying the same thing. It's like, oh, you're a man, you look like a man. You'll never be a real woman. It's fucking hilarious. I've been streaming for about 3 years come March. I want to say March 19 or 27. I only recently came out in August. I think I bookmarked my transition announcement recently. I'm going to unbookmark certain things, although that is oh, we'll keep those ones. Oh, hang on, there is one thread I want to look at, but I'll just find my coming out letter. I posted in August 27th that I was coming out as trans, and the response was overwhelming. Somebody unliked it, by the way. This was on 240 likes before, and now it's on 239. What the fuck is this shit? But the response was overwhelming and heartwarming when I came out, and really gave me a ton of absolute confidence in this community. And I took 5 weeks off streaming to sort of get my head around everything. Really get my head back in the game. And I came back on September. I stopped streaming on August 22nd. I came back on September 12th, I think. If you go to my Twitch tracker page, you can look up my stats yourself if you would like to. But yeah, I came back and I started heavily focusing on... Well, at first it was just games. I just came back to games. I just came back to playing all the usual stuff that I was playing. Wasn't a huge... what was it? September 2nd, sorry. September 2nd. Wasn't a huge radical shift at first, but recently I've sort of found that I'm much more happy streaming, just chatting, and discussing things at length as a stream content thing. So I think the shift has allowed me to really come to terms with what I want to do on this platform as well. They can see your true self, no true girl self, except the bigots because they're dickheads. Came out less than a month ago. You were MB-phobic because of how people viewed it. Then came out to yourself. I know the feeling. Your puppy is acting a fool. Go calm it down. You can't ban the stream, I know. So yeah, I've been streaming for about 3 years. Only came out in like the past 6 months. Just about. And it's been a really good journey. It's been really good to reinvent and to rediscover. I feel like I'm much more comfortable with the kind of content I'm putting out now. I feel much more comfortable with the presentation now. There was a lot of, and I've deleted all my old VODs so you can't go back and watch it. I have got old videos of mine stored on a hard drive, which I have been debating putting up on a separate YouTube channel and just unlisting them. But on the other end of the spectrum, on the other end of that discussion, I'm just like, no, Abigail, let him die, you know? Let that part of you die. There's no reason to put yourself through that pain. Because there was a distinct sensation back when I was streaming before I came out, that everything I was doing on stream felt wrong and felt performative and felt forced, and it was exhausting. It was emotionally draining. Yeah, good to not be that anymore. Couldn't look at yourself in the mirror or take pics of yourself. I felt that too. Yeah. And the thing is, I used to take a lot of photos of myself in the gym, specifically trying my damnedest to be as masked as possible. And so I would take a lot of photos of those, trying my best to look as buff and macho as I possibly could. And it all felt very, very forced, very, very fake. So it's good to move past that. On the subject of being NB-phobic, though, very similarly, I've mentioned this in the past before, there was a point where I was just like, why don't they develop a medicine for trans people that makes it so that their bodies just align with their brains align with their bodies or whatever it was. So I was grossly uninformed about things a few years ago. And this goes back to, and I think that's internalized transphobia, of course, because I've known that I was trans for a long time. Since I was about 15 or 16 is what I've mentioned as the age that I think was the first time I had a break in my your puppy has destroyed a pillow and what was inside is now outside and you have to go, rightio, Hecklin, have a good one. Have fun cleaning that up. At least it's not worse than that, I guess. Could have been a little more messy. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of things that I said and I thought, which were methods of suppressing my own gender identity. Want to die? It's so late at night. I believe it's, unless MB-phobic is specifically a different thing. I read it as NB-phobic, and NBs are what we tend to call non-binary folks, people who don't typically fit either male or female, are either somewhere in between or somewhere entirely outside of the gender roles. Draco used to be so opposed to the idea of genders aside from male and female. Again, same. I was in that same boat. Have a safe night, Hecklin. Thank you so kindly for being here. Husky ate the Wi-Fi cable twice in one day. Oh no. Oh fuck. How would you even train your dog to not do that shit? Honestly, I have no intention of learning how to train a dog. I have no intention of having a dog. Yeah, just trying to think. What was a point that I was going to make? Treats and positive reinforcement, true. I want to get another kitten. I want to get Smudge a friend. I worry he might just get jealous though, and there are, of course, significant portions of time where I'm out of the house. So I don't want to leave him alone with a new cat. But I also really want a new cat. I want a second cat. And I don't think I can afford a new cat either. You know, the cord goes outside to the roof or something. Oh yeah. No idea. And, what was I going to say? Going to catch a solid 3 hours of sleep in preparation for the rest of your college work. See you later, Rosa. Have a good one. I'm going to be ending it soon. I'm going to be calling it soon. Could you separate... I mean, you probably could. You could probably put a kitten in a cage in my bedroom or something. And then, you know, lock Smudge out of my room. Because there's nothing in here that he wants. He never comes in here. Unless he specifically wants to sit in my lap at the desk. At this point. Alright, mate. Yes. Alright, Mocha. How you doing? Kittens sometimes used to get used to older cats. Smudge is only about, like, 4 or 5 years of age, I think. I got him, he was already about 11 months old. And that was a few... probably 3 years of age. I haven't had him that long. No, we're not locking Smudge in a cage. The kitten in a cage. Automod caught that. Oh, fuck. Automod is funny, but if it protects the stream, I'm willing to keep it. I had Automod on, like, next to no moderation for the record. And then I changed it. Kittens sometimes get used to older cats faster than other older cats. It only took a week before your older cat was letting us suck on nip. Got Freya at 2 years old with a 5-day travel. Goodness no. There's a shelter. 10 minutes, 20 minutes down the road from me. I just go to a shelter and see what cats they have, honestly. I would like a new kitten, but if the option for an older cat is there, I would adopt an older cat. New cats do well with having a safe area while they adjust to a new home. Well, yeah, I'd probably, like, lock the new cat in either my bedroom or the kid's bedroom. So that Smudge can wander around. And I guess they can get acclimatized to each other. My sister's 2 cats tend to get along, living in the same environment, but they do occasionally have a bit of a spat. They do bicker and hiss at each other. But they sleep in the same room, in the same bed. They eat next to each other and stuff like that, so they get along to a point, at the very least. Stand people who get cats from shelters that aren't kittens. Older cats need love too, they do. And I've mentioned this before, there was a gorgeous black cat the day that I adopted Smudge, who was 10 years old. And I don't know, I just ended up going with Smudge. I'm not sure what the reasoning was, but I miss that black cat. I would have liked to have adopted that black cat. It was lovely, a lovely cat. But Smudge has been an absolute amazing companion. He's so warm and loving. He seldom gets into scratchy, bitey moods, but when he does, he doesn't bite very hard. And, you know, he does get into playful moods, but most of the time he's very, very loving. Yes, I am, girl. Hey, Gorge. Most of the older cats had FIV plus or not good with cats. FIV plus? Oh, feline immunovirus? Was that what that is? Love another cat, but last year we adopted a greyhound, and apparently they don't like cats much. Well, that's unfortunate. Thank you, Broken, for hydrating me. Oh. Hello, lesbian bread and cheese. I still can't get over your name. It's amazing. How you going? What's happening? What's happening? We're talking cats. We're talking animals. We started off talking about Vess over here, who is still sitting in her hole, not going anywhere. Now we've moved on to cats and dogs and all things in between. You're good? I'm glad to hear it. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're kind of at the tail end of things. We have 2 frogs. Oh, that's cool. 4 dogs, 2 cats, 3 buns, scorpion, and a few fish. Goodness gracious. My mother's got an absolute zoo at her house. She's got my sister's 2 cats. She's got 2 dogs, 4 chickens, a whole host of different fish, 2 rabbits. What else? They had a lizard in an enclosure for a while there that they eventually had to let go. Absolute zoo. It was ridiculous. Like, I can't imagine. Like, how do you take care of that many animals? Goodness gracious me. Like, dude. I don't get it. I want to get quails. Quail sounds interesting. A goat would be pretty cool. A goat would be a pretty cool pet. Again, I still want to get a scorpion as a pet. I want to get a... I wouldn't mind a snake. 27 cats. Fuck. What else? Honestly, like, I know it's not likely you can really keep these as pets, but a raven would be pretty badass. 2 cats and a tortoise, can you go live with Twixie Puppy? Yeah, I think a snake would be a cool pet. Oh, this is gonna sound really morbid. You teach ravens to talk like parrots, you can. It's fucking cool. I would love to do that. I'll have to look into getting a raven. That would totally fit my whole thing. I'd have a tendency towards things that have a bit more of a morose vibe to them. And on the subject, I want to try something right now. There we go. I want to try something right now. Look at the goth vibe, dude. What do you... There you go, look at that. I've mentioned in the past that I want to get a mounted tarantula in a frame, because I saw them at the Australia Museum recently. They had them for sale in the gift shop, and now I'm just like, I need to buy one of those, which is really morbid considering I have a live spider as a pet. Yeah, what do you think? This angle isn't as goth, but this is gothic. I do have a color scheme though, so I should stick with it. Although tonight we changed it a bit, we shifted a bit, and the magenta light is now going to be deep sky blue. There we go. We'll put you back on purple. Put you on the purple, Gorge. How about we put you on blue? There's the blue. That's green. That's purple. That's blue. Yeah, purple. I think I'm gonna have to I'm gonna overwrite in my refresh scene. Here we go. So for those of you who don't know my lights, I have 3 smart lights from a company called Wiz, and I can control them all with my phone. I've got 3 more in the rest of the house. One in my kitchen, one in my living room, and one in my kids' bedroom. So the kids love them as well, obviously. I want to keep pet skulls when they pass. That's very morbid, but understandable. Very disturbing, but, you know. Are they expensive? Not particularly, actually. The latest one that I bought, this one over here, there it is, was like $30 for the 1 bulb. And I bought this one and the one over there as a 2-pack for about $70. And yeah, so I've bought a few of them, so it adds up, but, you know, you get to have, and I've recently, you know, to try to save the battery life on them, so to speak, I have actually been turning them off at the switch, but with your phone you can turn them off, but the thing is they're still plugged in and turned on, which I think does actually affect how long they're going to last. So I have been actively turning them off at the power when I go to bed and such, because, you know, I don't want to waste the battery in them, make them last longer. The light strip on the back of my bed was only like $15. The fairy lights, as you can see over there on my curtains, that's 2 sets. They were about $4 each. Sorry, 4 packs. And those are just battery-operated fairy lights, which look pretty cool. I want to get more lighting stuff in here. I want to put lights on my shelves. Is the next thing I want to do. I want to install them behind these little strips of metal here at the very edge, because there's like a little lip there, which would be a really cool way to light those up. What else? What else? Love dead animals as much as you love them alive. Death is an interesting thing. And the way that our culture and other cultures look at death, and the way that they respect death and revere death, the way we treat death, the way that we act as though, there might be something beyond death. All a very interesting concept that continues to intrigue me. That's something I hope to read more about at some point, honestly. I wonder if there's some good texts on cultural representations of death. But yeah, I think that would look nice too. I want more lights. I'm gonna get a painting that's gonna go behind my bed. My mother's gonna paint me a Trans Pride themed painting. And I want to put something on that wall next to it as well, but I don't know what. Any suggestions? I want to add more stuff to my room so that it's a little bit more cool. I would like to get some lights that can sit behind my mirror. Originally, this light strip was going to go around the edge of the mirror, I thought, which is something I may still do. I could buy another one of those light strips and try to put it around the edge of that mirror, I think. Which would be a neat concept. I don't know how well it would work, though. We're just like interior decorating now, I guess. Have a collection of dead bugs you find and scavenged bones that you pretty much worship. That's cool. That's cool. We like the macabre. I am intrigued in I'm intrigued by all that kind of stuff. Don't know if I'd necessarily collect it, but it's interesting. Again, I still do want the mounted tarantula carcass. Rebirth reincarnation is interesting. People are biodegradable, so everyone turns into something else in a sense. Exactly. Which is why I dislike the concept of the coffin, honestly. I dislike the concept of getting this heavy, excessive wooden box that's just going to go in the ground and you're going to decompose in this wooden box that's designed to be long-lasting. I would much rather be buried in a biodegradable cardboard box with a tree planted over my corpse so that I become fertilizer for the tree. Or something. I don't know. Some bullshit. See dead spider and you go put it in a jar. You want a sky burial? How would you do that? Sky burial. Do they just like fly your corpse up 14,000 feet and then throw you out of a helicopter? Want to be eaten by animals, but you don't know if that's legal. That's the thing, right? It's like, it's your corpse. You're dead. Sorry, I hate that song. I hate the tin drum part of that song. That's the thing, right? Is like, you're dead. You're technically dead. Could you not put it in your will that, like, I would like to be feasted upon by cannibalistic animals when I die? It's like, why would it necessarily have to be illegal? Why would it have to be illegal to let animals feast on your carcass? Right, what's the logic there? You know, it's a dead person. And I suppose that's its that's its own, what's the phrase I'm looking for? That's its own way of like how we revere the dead in a kind of what is wrong with you people tonight? Jesus Christ. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Not you, for goodness sake. Not that one. There we go. No. For goodness sake, sorry, Martin, that wasn't supposed to hit you. Yeah, like that's one way that we revere death, I suppose. Like, we don't really allow people to break the social norms with regards to how we are treated at the end of our lives. When we're no longer of this world, we can't leave in our we cannot leave in our will, or whatever it is, in our last will and testament, I'd like to be fired out of a cannon when I die. Not cremated, by the way. I would like my carcass to be blasted out of a cannon. There was a joke someone said, it's like, when I die, I'd like to be sprinkled over, like Central Park or something like that. And they're just like, I don't want to be cremated. On my corpse fired through Ben Shapiro's bedroom window. The court can say no to people's wills though, yeah. Where would the cannon be aimed at? Well, we've just decided Ben Shapiro's bedroom window. There you go. Or maybe it could be my last-ditch effort to win over Abigail Shapiro. Shoot my corpse through her window instead. I could save her. Don't want to be embalmed? Yeah, that sounds awful. I mean, you're not going to experience it, is the thing. Right? No matter how they decide to dispose of your body at the end of your life, you're not going to experience it because you're already going to be dead. You're not going to know what's going on. What actually goes into embalming? Bad for the environment. Yeah, it's preservation. It keeps the body, which is really stupid. Again, like, we're biodegradable. We're not meant to last. So embalming people is a particularly dumb thing. Like, I'm going to go out of my way once, you know, I'm approaching my time with this world. I'll go out of my way to make it known. It's like, I want the most biodegradable death possible. I don't want people to finick about preserving my corpse. And it's like, why would you need to preserve my corpse? Yeah, why should I care what happens to my body when I'm dead? Exactly. Like, you know, I don't give a fuck what you do. Dismember me if you wish. Or I could donate my body to the sciences, honestly. Would be an interesting thing to do. When asked, how can he fight animals with the stick if he's dead? Exactly. There's no reason to care about what happens to our corpses other than pride. Other than this ill-conceived concept of pride. We don't want our bodies to be treated with disrespect because it's seen as disrespecting who we were in life, I guess. But the reality of the situation is, once you're dead, you're just a pile of flesh. You're just a pile of bioorganic matter that can slowly disintegrate. And slowly just feed into the rest of the world. And again, that's why I'm going like that route of the biodegradable cardboard box coffin. That's all I would want. You know, I don't want to worry too heavily about, you know, a gaudy silk-lined coffin or any of that bullshit. Because it's unnecessary, it's prideful, it's stupid. The alternative... And the thing is, even, like, the alternative for taking up less space would be, of course, cremation, but cremation's itself bad for the environment. It's carcinogenic, like was mentioned before. Netis. Feel bad for the loved ones that found out that their past were used for something else when given a science. True. Yes, true. That's awful. I can't remember the specifics of that. But you have a very good point there. I am thinking, I am ruminating, I am contemplating at the moment because we are just on midnight. Orias, how you doing? And last night I streamed way too late because I got raided by Twiddles. And I was up super late, so I kind of want to end shortly. I'm looking at who might be among the list of folks we could raid. You can ask something if you wish. I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. I am an open book. Howdy, Almighty. How you doing? Really ironic to preserve dead bodies. They killed the living with carcinogens. True. This is an interesting discussion to have, honestly. This has been quite good. Who could we raid? Who is... Here's an idea. I'm just thinking to myself, who could we raid? There are body farms where decomposition is studied. That would be a good option, honestly. You're from Italy. How do I think the trans situation is in America? Honestly, aside from... I think it's getting better in America from what I've seen. It doesn't particularly seem that America has as many transphobe issues as the UK, which is going through it really badly right now. I think there's a ton of really awful transphobia being just absolutely pushed to the forefront of social discourse in the UK, and it's explicitly harmful there. There's absolutely transphobia in America, of course. Real OG, how you doing? Welcome in. However, in the US, I'm not 100% sure of the situation. Of course, you know, Joe Biden has recently repealed a number of restrictions on queer people in general, including allowing trans folks to re-enter the military. Which, you know, awesome. Let's send trans people off to die in other countries for capitalistic garbage reasons. I would much rather cis people be banned from the military. No cis people or trans people in the military. Just no one in the military. It's an absolute atrocity what's happening in the UK right now, and I would like to go deeper into detail about why that is. But thank you for the hug, chill. You doing good, Real OG? I'm doing good. I'm doing well. Glad they managed to ban. Yes, they banned gay conversion therapy in Victoria, which is fucking amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. We talked about that last night, if I'm not mistaken. I'm scrolling through my follows list. And I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to click on someone. No, stop. I was scrolling. But how will I cure my homosexuality now? Hi, I'm a homosexual, please. No states, no borders, no military needed, ideally. But, you know, capitalistic societies are always going to want to conquer and dominate, as they always do. Well, it's not appropriate to call someone who is trans a transgender. I'll say that much. There's a lot of etiquette around the use of trans terminology with regards to transgender people. A trans person might be a better way to phrase it. Gay conversion is like drowning a fish. Good fucking luck. Yeah, like conversion therapy often just leads to significant PTSD, honestly, and doesn't really end up curing anything. Because there's nothing to cure, quite frankly. There's no reason for said therapy. It's purely it just causes harm. That's all it does. The New World Order wants one world, one military. If they've got one military, if it's just like one unified world, what would they need a military for? Genuine question. Other planets that we don't like, we've been entirely unable to verify the existence of the space aliens. Excuse me. One country is well, I don't know. There's a lot to go into about the idea of globalism. You respect every gender, we're all human beings. You can ask me a question, yes, absolutely. One person goes crazy with power, which is inevitably going to happen, I think. Quite frankly, it seems more likely that we're heading further and further towards a capitalist. Well, I mean, we're already in a capitalist society, but I think a corporatist. What's the word I'm looking for? Seems more and more likely that. Well, hellscape's a good way to put it. Hellscape's a good way to put it. A global dictatorship, yeah, that'd be bad. Trans is not that. No, that's oligarchy is probably a good word for it. Trans is someone who was assigned one gender at birth, typically based on their genitalia, whose gender identity is different from the gender that they were assigned at birth. Been fun. Hope to catch you again, Hoonatic. It's been nice to talk to you. Have a good one. Yeah, corporatocracy, I think, is the best way to phrase it. Like, it seems like, you know, obviously corporations are grabbing more and more power. Oh yeah, you're thinking of intersex, Real OG. Which is a very real thing that a lot of people seem to gloss over and forget exists. What was I saying? Yeah, a corporatocracy, especially a globalist corporatocracy, it definitely does seem like certain corporations, you probably know the ones that I'm thinking of. Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, etc. have got more power than the governments of the world do. The governments of the world are essentially at the beck and call of these major corporations, and what they say goes, realistically speaking. So we could be, it seems unlikely that we as a people are going to be able to stem the tide of a corporatocratic rule, I guess. Not one world government, cities can run themselves, libertarian municipalism. I'll have to read up on that. That's one thing I've been meaning to do. I've been really slacking on my reading lately. I've got to read more about stuff. I'll look up that one, libertarian municipalism. It's not a... Here's the question that I will pose to you. It's not a choice, specifically. However, Bad Bunny made a very good point on her stream a little while back of like, if it was a choice, does that matter? If being gay was a choice, does that matter? Is that relevant? If I had just chosen to be a girl one day, which if you really look at it from a very shallow perspective, if you look at it from a very baseline perspective, that's essentially what happened. But my gender identity, and there's a lot of studies to support that gender identity is a lot more intrinsic than we realize. It's a lot deeper than we realize. But yeah, like the gender role, the script I was given as a child, where they said to this baby, here's what you're going to be as you grow up. You're going to be taught to live and act this particular way, and that is your role in society. And I got to a point in my life where I'm just like, I don't like this script. I would like to file for another role, please. But the question becomes, is if it were simply a choice, if someone were simply to say, I just want to be a girl instead of a boy, does that matter? Is that a problem? Is that an issue in any way, shape, or form? If a man says, I'd like to be sexually attracted to men, like if they actively chose it, which they don't, is that important or not? Does that matter at all? Trans people aren't the result of nature's fuck up. It's a problem that comes from social construct being too rigid for some people. That's a good way to put it, Neris. Never good at pretending to be a man. People could always tell it was an act. Surely the choice was not to be out. Yes, that's how it feels for me as well. It feels like the choice was to not be out. The choice was to hide and just align with the gender role that was given to me because everybody expected that. I've spoken about that numerous times. It's like it feels like everybody else was expecting a man, so I just put on the role so that I didn't make them uncomfortable, that I didn't make things complicated. You're welcome, Real OG. Thank you for asking the question. Going through with transitioning can be a choice. Some trans folk don't or can't for various reasons. Exactly. Like there are certain people who are in very, very unstable households where if they were to come out to their family as trans or gay, then their family might disown them, their family might abuse them, and that's a very difficult thing, and they have to then work at getting out of those circumstances to get to a better state of living, to get to the point where they can come out. Maybe they have to work hard enough at a job to save up enough money to move far away from their family. And then, of course, hopefully they can find themselves a welcoming and accepting community that allows them to come out and be who they truly are. Do I think that being trans is a mental... I don't think it's a mental health thing, first of all. Let's break this down. I don't believe it's a mental health thing. It's definitely a social construct thing. There was a time period in our history, in our culture, where having a standard binary gender role situation, and we're talking ancient history times, maybe even prehistory times, there was a time where having a male and a female distinct social role was important for the development of our civilization, I suppose. But we've moved now for a very long time to a much more individualistic society. Everyone has their own identity. Everyone has their own personality. Everyone wants to be their own person. They're not just we are still, of course, all little cogs in a massive, overly ridiculous machine. Social machine. In simple words, trans is the person who changed their... Well, I haven't changed any that's all surgical. The only medical transition I've made so far is medicine. Hormone replacement therapy. It's nothing to do with sexual desires, though. It's to do with gender identity. Gender presentation. Pink used to be a boy color, etc. Exactly. Yeah, fuck biology. Exactly. Absolutely. Fuck biology. Biology's stupid. Stanford has a few free lectures available on YouTube about behavioral biology. Interesting to watch. That's a good idea. I might do that. What about people who feel content about their gender that was given? Then you're cis. That's it. You're cisgender. That's the basis of it. Is like, if you have no qualms with how you were born, congratulations, you're normal. you get to get away with none of the oppression of being trans and gay and goodness help you if you're trans and gay and black in America. Even then we've existed since those roles have existed. There is evidence of, yeah, exactly, like trans folk are not a new thing. Trans folk are not something that happened in the last 40 years, for example. Trans folk have existed and have always existed. Oh, the trans pride ring? Type !ring in chat if you want to check out the Etsy store of the seller who helped me get this, by the way. They spent months in back and forth communication with me, trying to figure out why my ring never arrived, and eventually they sent me a new one. We fixed the problem. It's fucking amazing. No, the ring is trans, not gay. The ring is trans. Oh, it's already there. It was on the... The bot fucking already posted it. What is this shit? High Priestesses of Ishtar were non-binary? There you go. Like, there's been a long and storied history of non-gender conforming people. Why do I still have this person's stream up, by the way? I'm not actually watching them, they just happen to be up, and it's paused on an ad, so I'm not even seeing their stream right now. Let me just have a look for a second, actually. Let me try something. But yeah, like, there's a lot to suggest that gender identity has always been a thing, historically, prehistorically. Have I heard of Elagabalus? Let's have a look. Or Heliogabalus, officially known as Antoninus, was a Roman emperor from 218 to 222. His short reign was conspicuous for sex scandals and religious controversy. A close relative of the Severan dynasty, he came from a prominent Arab family in Emesa, Homs, in Syria, where his early youth he served as a head priest of the sun god Elagabal. Excuse me. After the death of his cousin, the emperor Karasala, Elagabalus was raised to the principate at 14 years of age in an army revolt instigated by his grandmother, Julia Mesa, against Karasala's short-lived successor, Macrinus. As a private citizen, he was probably named Varius Avitus Bassianus. Upon becoming emperor, he took the name Marcus Aurelius Antoninus, and only posthumously became known by the Latinized name of his god. Why are we talking about him? Them? Are they gender non-conforming or something? I'm curious. Part of you made a theory that they were that gender in a past life and want to relive it, and we have that cycle of being male and femme until we are balanced. That's just an idea. Skip to marriages. Alright, marriages, sexuality, and gender. The question of Elagabalus's sexual orientation is confused, owing to salacious and unreliable sources. Cassius Dio states that Elagabalus was married 5 times, twice to the same woman. His first wife was Julia Cornelia Paula, whom he married on prior to August 29, 219. Between then and August 28, 220, he divorced Paula, took the vestigial virgin Julia Aquilius Severa as his second wife, divorced her, and took a third wife, whom Herodian says was Arnia Aurelia Faustina, a descendant of Marcus Aurelius and the widow of a man Elagabalus had recently executed, Pomponius Bassus. In the last year of his reign, Elagabalus divorced Annia Faustina and can't speak because it's like midnight, I'm tired, shut up, and remarried Aquilia Severa. Here's a cat. Here's an e-learning course on trans people. Thank you, NBSB. They're reported to have once said that they'd give the entire empire to a surgeon that could give them a vagina. Dio, who referred to Elagabalus with feminine pronouns, states that another husband of this woman, Elagabalus, was Heracles, an ex-slave and chariot driver from Caria. The Augustan history claims that Elagabalus also married a man named Zoticus, an athlete from Smyrna, while Dio says only that Zoticus was his cubicularius. I don't know what the fuck that is. Yes, we got cat. Dio says that Elagabalus prostituted himself in taverns and brothels. Dio says Elagabalus delighted in being called Heracles' mistress, wife, and queen. The emperor reportedly wore makeup and wigs, preferred to be called a lady and not a lord, and offered vast sums to any physician who could provide him with a vagina. There you go. Although Claire Rowan says that this last detail seems to be entirely fictive. For this reason, the emperor is seen by some writers as an early transgender figure and one of the first on record seeking sex reassignment surgery. Would that have been possible at that time? Would that have been a thing they could do? Might have been trans, but also did some real fucked up shit. So not the best role model, exactly. I mean, I'd probably take a shitty trans role model as a meme, honestly. Hello. It's baby. Hi. Kitty cat ASMR. It's baby. Do I know about April Ashley? No, I don't. Name sounds vaguely familiar. So what have I missed? Some people do that to get money for their family. What have I missed? Hang on, let me go back. Place where you live, trans people usually get into the train and collect money from people, or else they'll start touching it. They'll start touching what? What? It's probably because they're unemployed and nobody cares to give them a proper job, so there's no clue in how they perform this way. Do you know in Rome, Caesar could be gay, as it was written where when the great warrior he died in battle, he cried all day refusing to eat and was stewing in misery over a warrior, and people questioned why did he be so distraught over a warrior. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be surprising. Honestly, and sexuality back in those times was quite distinctly differently represented culturally, I think. There was, a lot of people like to say that the military was extremely gay. Like a lot of male-on-male sexuality, but the issue that a lot of people overlook was that the men having sex with other men in the military or whatever it was in those times was bigger, stronger men dominating weaker, more effeminate men, as a symbol of, being an alpha almost, essentially, which, if we get into the whole alpha thing, that's just a gross misinterpretation of wolf family dynamics. But anywho, if you call yourself an alpha male, you're actually the biggest beta on the planet, for the record. Rome was sexually open before the church, I believe so. Very sexually open, yeah. Now everyone's on Sigma males. Ancient Greece was gay as heck. I don't have an OnlyFans. Why would I have an OnlyFans? April Ashley, MBE, born 29th of April. Born in April, is an English model and restaurant hostess. She was outed as a transgender woman by the Sunday People newspaper in 1961 and is one of the earliest British people known to have had sex reassignment surgery. I don't think they actually call it that nowadays, or at least culturally among the transgender community. They don't like to call it SRS. They like to call it GCS, gender confirmation surgery, I think. Her marriage was annulled in a notable court case known as Corbett v. Corbett. OnlyFans because trans, apparently. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a market for it, believe me. If I was that way inclined, I would absolutely go down that rabbit hole for the sake of the money, because I know there are absolutely simps out there who will pay fat cash money for a trans woman's nudes, I suppose, but I'm not into that. More power to those that are, of course. There are only 2 genders. Which of the 6 types of male are you? Exactly, that just brings us back to the whole concept of how ridiculous gender identity is. Like, gender identity is just roles. It's just us saying, this is how you should perform. This is the set of circumstances that you must live by. This is the way that you should be. It's nice meeting you too, Real OG. Been a pleasure having you here. We're going to raid someone shortly. I'm going to find someone to raid shortly. There's a streamer who added an OnlyFans command with a link to just pictures of ceiling fans. That's amazing. Trans men make a lot from OF too. The thing is about the OnlyFans discussion, right, is that OnlyFans, like with every other form of success, it all comes down to who you know. You know, you'll notice on OnlyFans Twitter, for example, is a lot of retweeting. It's a lot of OnlyFans girls retweeting each other, and OnlyFans guys, and anyone else in the community. A lot of retweeting each other back and forth, building up their communities, finding new people, and it's all networking, just like everything else, just like streaming, just like all that sort of stuff. So some people get this idea in their heads that if you make an OnlyFans account, you're just going to end up with loads and loads of money. And that's, yeah. Some people have this idea in their heads that they just start an OnlyFans account and they're going to be rich. They're going to earn 7 figures and be able to afford their own home inside of a month or something. And got to put your what's it called? You got to put your, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. Anyway, stopped using OF and still making bank, and you don't know how. What? Are people still subscribing? Could that be it? We're finding out that, yeah, there is a lot more nuance than just two sexes as well. And again, intersex is a thing, and there are a lot of biological differences between people who are cisgender, who are of the same generally considered biological sex. There are a lot of biological differences between cisgender men and between cisgender women. There are cisgender women who do not develop, I think there are some who do not develop ovaries, for example. There are some men who do not develop testicles. Other such things. The human body is far deeper than basic biology, which the transphobes always love to bring up. They love to try to say to us that our identity goes flagrantly in the face of basic biology, but basic biology is a very, very complex concept. More people are intersex than we know. Some men will just make more fem hormones and vice versa. Exactly. It really goes to show how much this is a big thing with Twitch. Has got a thing that just says failed to load module. Okay, anyway. Let me try to get my thought process back for a second. See, it's really late. I should probably not be up. This is a thing that religious types tend to do when confronted with concepts like being pro-life or being pro-death penalty. I mentioned this the other night. They nitpick. They cherry-pick segments of whatever texts they're referencing, typically the Bible in that circumstance. And they don't actually do any research whatsoever. They don't actually look into anything they're talking about. They just parrot each other back and forth to one another to reinforce their bigotries, and then find segments of text that reinforce those bigotries, and then spread that onwards. They have no interest whatsoever in providing anyone with a legible argument. If they've eaten at least one shellfish, they're going to hell. That's it. Prawns, going straight to hell. Is that a shellfish? No. I don't think it is. There's probably something against seafood in the Bible. Have you ever worn clothes made of 2 different fabrics? Have you ever had a tattoo? It always baffles me when I see heavily religious people covered in tattoos. Transfer biology is at best high school biology, which anyone who's ever done science at uni knows a lot of easy ideas meant to help you learn more complicated ideas later. Exactly. Babies actually have to transition from... Yeah, true, they do. They have to transition in the womb. Well, that's just part of fetal development, realistically speaking. Who can I go to raid? I don't know. I'm trying to think to myself here, because I don't know where we bugger off to. I'm tired. I can't think. I'm exhausted, folks. I'm baby. I don't even know if we had any particularly good... I mean, tonight's stream has been lovely, don't get me wrong. We've had a ton of bigots, as we usually do. And I've got to now figure out the fucking follower explosion that I had. Follower bot explosion that I got to fuck off. Jesus Christ. What time I stream normally? I usually stream at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, so east coast of Australia. Crittervision. Oh, good lord. No, I want to rate someone who's actually a personality. That is cool, though. Traveling outdoors. Crittervision, Crittercam, 24/7 live, Critter Nature and Wildlife Viewing Cam. That's cool. How about Ruthie? We haven't rated Ruthie in a minute. Oh, are they streaming? Yeah. Ruthie is doing a stream. It looks like they're in the Outer Worlds category. I don't know if they're actually playing it though, because they're just sitting on their desktop at the moment. But let's go say hi to Ruthie. Everyone, be kind to yourselves and each other as always. I love your faces, for the record. Let's get that out there right now. Appreciate you all being here so much. And hopefully sometime soon, we have plans for a few unique types of streams. In particular, we're going to be having a drinking stream with some friends on the 27th, which is in 20 days time. That's the goal, at least. I have to actually ask my mother if she'll watch my children on that particular night so that we can get it. Oh, actually, hang on. Yeah, Saturday the 27th. Yeah. What else is there coming up? I don't know. I have plans for like a board game stream and a baking stream and all that sort of stuff. So stick around and I'll catch you very soon. There's social stuff down there. I forgot to do that. I'm tired. Go to bed. Go away. Go to someone else's stream. I'll see you when I'm looking at you. You dickheads. Good night.